Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Happy Wednesday. I don't anticipate that we're going to have much of a full house today just because I did. Um, I didn't realize that I knew last week that we started having like different schedules for practices this week for all the sports my kids are in. They're both in baseball, so there's two sports for two boys, and then Boston's in basketball and Wrigley's in soccer. And a lot of these practices are overlapping or one right after the other. And my husband's coaching both Boston's basketball and Wrigley's baseball, so I have to be there for Boston tonight. I'm going to plug my laptop in actually. They have a team meeting and then their first practice. And he's in the league above like the major, like boys majors. So intermediate, I think it's called. So they have to like form teams. They don't have like a official tryout like they did in majors and minors and all that fun stuff. But so yeah, lots of busy stuff going on. Oh, I had forgotten to let people on the Done Creative, the two people that see my posts over there, to let them know, hey, I'm live today early. So I'm going to make a very, very quick post. Usually I can just share and say, hey, come join us. It's fun times over here. Oh, the kids are home for the snow day, but I remembered, yay, I'm so glad. Yay. Oops, no, I want to create a post. Okay, so come hang out and get in on this fun. I'm in a weird mood today. All right. What kind of emoji do I want for this? Let's do, We'll do that. Okay, post. Yay. Okay, we're good. Okay. So, Brandy, after we had that discussion about the candle, that Saturday right after that, I made one for you. And it smells so good. It's the sea minerals mixed with tonka and oud. So it's got, to me, it's still much more sea. Like, you can almost barely smell the tonka and oud in this, but oh my goodness, it still smells really atmospheric as far as being at the beach. Not that like fishy smell of the beach, but just the, I don't know, ozonic smell of it. I don't know. But we did a double wick on this bad boy because this is like a 3-inch diameter. We got the teal. These are the ones that I was just using for the other birth card candles that I made, so I figured I'd put it in here. And of course, for those, we're gonna do a little candle show and tell. I made a couple of fun things. Of course, some of you that have been around a minute have seen my reversal spell candles, and just here's like a regular old chime candle. So it's a thicker of a daddy to get the job done. I'm just now realizing I left my notes for what I wanted to talk about today downstairs, but I know the gist of it, so I should probably be okay. And then I'll show you all the like other container candles, and then I'll show you like a pillar-ish candle, or I don't know what you want to call it, just more of a form contained candle. But this one is an inner child healing candle, and I love these little containers. They're so fun. But this is orange because it is orange creamsicle scented, which is such a, I don't know, childhood vibe. Anytime I smell an orange creamsicle or taste one, it just takes me right back to the good parts of childhood. Anyone else? I have another scent though that I want to maybe experiment with for some inner child healing. Even to set the intention to get any soul fractals that were lost to you during childhood. These would be great candles for setting those kinds of intentions and any other kind of candle spell work that you wanted to do for yourself concerning the inner child. I'm going to have some fun little things and I'm going to eventually put on this, so it's not going to just stay. But look how smooth and creamy these tops are. They come out so great that I almost don't want to put all my little fun things on them. And I did show this one last week, but since it's here still, I'll show you. Oak moss and amber. It's just screams and oozes prosperity, and I love it. And I've even put mint from my garden in here sprinkled. And as the herbs burn, of course, that magical intention can be set. So yes, creamy top was disturbed just so I could add a bunch of stuff in here. We've got some green aventurine here and some little citrines kind of sprinkled throughout. We've got some tiger's eye. We've got pyrite. And this little wax gold bar is actually wax. It's not metal at all. And then there's some over here meant for my garden, and then some sprinkling of kind of different little fun glitters and mica powders and little gold foiling and stuff, fun stuff like that. So yeah. And I actually burned the one money candle that I did like a single wick. And it actually, once I got about a half to a third of the way down, it wasn't bad tunneling, but it was tunneling nonetheless. But the tunneling that was there subsided completely on one side and was about to get that way on the other side. But we still had, a little bit of the wax left on one side. So actually, it didn't do as bad as I thought it was going to do initially when I saw that it was starting to tunnel. But even then, for all future candles in this size, and I even got some new wicks to test and try and, do all my experimentation with, hypothesize and theorize and all the fun things. But yeah, they're going to be double wicked from now on. It's hard to see the wicks. There we go. One there. Boom. Come on, lighting. You can help me out. 1 and 2. There we go. 1, 2. Ooh, we can see the candle much better in this lighting. Yeah, you can see the tiger's eye over here. Boom. Star anise or anise. I know I've heard it pronounced both ways, but yeah. So candles everywhere. I'm going to be finishing the tops of a couple of other candles that I have as well for some birth card situation candles that I'm giving to as gifts. And I got my first order for a escaping or breaking out of the matrix, unlocking the matrix candle to set those intentions to, connect to our true spirit and get ourselves out of here. And last but not least, as far as what I have to show today, of course, when that matrix candle is made, I will show you guys. I have some fun ideas for what that will look like on top, but it'll be a container candle. So this is a not container candle, and this is about breaking any spells, contracts, or binds with the moon candle. So again, another spell or intention candle, and I've painted it with blue, like a darker blue, a kind of black that almost shows up as a dark gray, purple, and even a lighter blue kind of mica powder. Very watered down because I didn't want, someone to touch it and then all the mica powder, like nothing comes off on my hands this way. So it's very, very light touch on the moon candle. But it came out so good, and I'm so excited to burn this one for just the intentions that I'm setting. But, those of you that really, have other ideas or want to do anything else with a moon-shaped candle, you can set your own intention for whatever it is you want to do. Hi, Firestorm Lady. Hello, hello. But today, I wanted to talk a little bit about just some random ideas or I like to call them epiphanies because they sound better than thoughts, because to me, most thoughts that we have are not even us thinking those thoughts. They're just almost like you're tuning into the collective stream of radio or the hive mind radio or entity, interference or what have you. But I would say 10 times out of 10, those really dark, nasty, negative thoughts that just come out of nowhere, you can guarantee those are a psychic entity attack. So, be very mindful that you, the person that is you, that exists through all time, space, reality, and lifetimes, that does not die, that does, continues to go on and on and on, is observing these thoughts. And yes, at times you are utilizing your instrument or tool of your brain to think about things and brainstorm. Yes, that is also you when you are actively and consciously using these tools. But when there's just all this noise and stuff, a lot of times that's not you. You're tuning into a lot of the collective stuff, or there's specific and targeted, thoughts being planted. So be very mindful, and maybe even keeping a journal or a little notebook nearby to record. And they say we have upwards of 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Well, if we were consciously in charge of thinking every single one of those thoughts, that in and of itself would be exhausting, if you ask me. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. Hi, Banana Anna S. You won the giveaway either I think it was it last time? And if I forgot to timestamp that, which I can't recall if I did, I want to say I did. But if I didn't, it's at 1:55:10 in that last live stream, if you have not seen it yet. You won the giveaway. Sorry, the drawing. I always get those two mixed up. And yeah, guys, wet hair don't care right now. My hair it's still very wet. So It's all weighed down and looking a little sad, but it'll look better today, later. But yes, we are gonna do a collective reading here in a moment after I get my thoughts out. Then we have our giveaway and our drawing. We don't have any donations thus far, so it might be a short and sweet live stream, or we might get some donations and be able to stretch this thing out a little bit and have some fun hanging out together. That's my favorite. But yes, as far as some of the thoughts that I had, or epiphanies, ideas, whatever we want to call these things, just deep knowings as well. I was really contemplating or thinking about just the energy and what I intended to do with the Done Creative, and then what happened with the Done Creative. So at first, of course, I was grinding, putting out sometimes 4 or 5 videos a week, and that really helped, and that really got me going. That boosted me. I think I was at 1,000 subscribers I had started the channel in May 7th of 2019, and by February 14th, it was Valentine's Day 2020, I was monetized, which is pretty quick. You know, I think it was, how many months was that? Like 8, 9, somewhere in there. I don't know. But then my mom's house burned down that summer, so I was doing closer to 2 or 3 videos a week, and then I kind of got in a groove with the 2 to 3 videos. I'm like, yeah, this feels right. Going 4 or 5 days a week, that's just a lot. So I kind of, notched it down. And then my intuition test #1 video went semi-ish viral. It's still to date my most viewed video. But #3 is, I want to say it's #3. One of the other ones is right behind that. Like my pick a cards were never why people really subscribed like in mass droves. Not that a lot of people subscribed in mass droves, but I had these huge boosts at times with the intuition test. There'd be a whole bunch of people. And one time, it was summer. Yeah, it was before I was monetized. So it was summer of 2019. I had one Who Will You Marry pick a card video that hit 6,000 views in like 2 days, which was, wow, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And that was my, I think still to this day, highest rated pick a card, or highest viewed, I should say, pick a card on that channel. But even though I was consistent, I was getting disheartened because things were starting to be throttled as I started to feel more comfortable saying certain things and what have you. But the point I was really trying to make with this is the algorithm everywhere online, the algorithm always rewards people who are chronically online, or those posters who are chronically uploading, multiple videos. And think of TikTok as like an extreme version of this chronically online problem that, I call it a problem. Maybe it's not a problem for you or other people, but I can see what they're trying to do. And I was really feeling into it. I'm so very cerebral with my mental processes and then wanting to speak them out, because in human design, I have a lot of head and ajna. It's whichever one's up in the middle. And then I think it's like, is it 61? I can't remember the different gate numbers, but the channel, the one in the middle from the head to the ajna center is, defined for me and everything. And then I have like 4 of the 6 channels or gates in the spleen or splenic center defined, which is more your instinctual kind of feeling into that intuition. And I really want to work with that more. Because a lot of times when I, get a download or an idea, I try to bring it up to the mental and just really like analyze and pick it apart and calculate and investigate and research and, all the things. But and I've been really working with this since I was really sick, because I was just operating mostly on that more instinctual gut reaction response of the spleen center in my chart. And things were, I can't even, it's hard to even put into words, because you got to like think about, how do I put this best in words? It's almost more like a knowing than a, yeah, that sounds right. Like, when you're up in your head about things, or, what have you. We can do a little fun thing about the human design. Because I'm kind of, as a Purnavasu moon / also North Node / Rahu, it's about, doing something and then kind of ebbing away from it and then coming back, hitting it hard. It's called the return of the light nakshatra. So I do this a lot where I'll cycle back or circle back to something. I think the one thing since I awoken or had the awakening, whatever you want to call that, initially in 2016 that I never really ventured back and then cycled back to was Vedic astrology. I've always been pretty consistently at least 2, 3, 4 multiple times a week, either thinking about, researching, digging into my chart in some way or another, or other people's charts for them if they want me to. I'm not someone who's just going to dig into people's charts just for my own S and G's, ish and giggles. No. But when people ask, of course I do, just as that curious being, right? But human design is much like, astrology, and they say it does take 7 years to consistently working at it to fully master. And my hands are so dry after my shower. Where's my lotion? The kids moved all my stuff. I guess we're gonna have to go without. We'll just deal with it. But yeah, it's a very deep dive process. So you can learn the basics, well, if I have these centers colored in and these ones are not colored in or just left white or blank, what does that mean? I'm a generator or a manifesting generator, a projector or a reflector or a manifester. Did I say that one? I think those are the 5-ish types of the main types. Yeah. And of course it runs just automatically through the tropical, but even that I'm like, that's me. That it resonates so deeply that I'm like, it works. The system works. The matrix is telling on itself again that yes, the reason this is all, happening is because it works. But yes, so you're being rewarded by chronically being online, and something that came into me when I was just not came into me, but occurred to me from that deep gut instinct, intuitive level of feeling, not emotional feeling, but feeling. It's a difference. And it's really hard to explain, so I'm not even going to try. So there's having emotions and then having feelings. They are different. I don't know how to put it into words, but if you know, you know, and I'm sure most of you know. But there's this feeling when I was really diving into that these algorithms, somehow they're rewarding people for chronically being online, and they are somehow, some way downloading pieces or parts of our consciousness when we're online. And probably compare, being on a blog site, reading about, what having a North Node conjunct Moon means might have a different, how do I put it into words? Again, words are hard for me today. I don't know what it is every day pretty much, but either there's something like that, or there's something like, I don't know, being on Facebook, scrolling. And you notice, and I know I'm not the only one here, you hear people talking about this now all the time, and now it's just almost becoming normalized to where people don't even, they're not even mad about it. And I am still furious about it. When I think of something, or maybe that thought's planted in my mind, who knows, but there's a thought there that says, I really need new blinds. Just as an example, I'm looking at my blinds here. These blinds are looking a little worse for wear. I think I need to order some new blinds, but I'm thinking it. I'm not saying it out loud. And then, say you go on Facebook later that day, there's ads for all these different blind companies in your area, or, more as these big chain blind makers or creators. Watch now, it'll, your phones also listen. So yeah, there's that as well. But when you think something and then it shows up, that's not some wild synchronicity. That's by design. But with how they are, really pushing all this AI stuff, and yes, I see that there are good things that AI can do or help us with, but it's they are now trying to replace nurses with AI. They're, grocery store checkouts and all sorts of things. I mean, AI has been around a lot longer than we think. We're talking probably millennia at this point, or, even just the construction of this matrix is an AI manifestation. And they need technology because they don't have that creative spirit power to run a natural, system, or, earth, for lack of a better word. This is where we live. There's a natural earth system. And matrix, the word matrix itself just means something built on top of something else, or something if a crystal is in matrix, the crystal is adhered to another, another type of mineral or rock. It can't just kind of grow, in a vacuum by itself. It needs something else to adhere to. So when we say matrix, that's something that's built on top of something else. Um, so that's what they've done here is they've kind of created this false or artificial intelligent. It is intelligent, but in a different way than our creative intelligence and divine intelligence is. It can still make things happen, but it needs us as a fuel source for food to make things happen. Yeah, right. I find it scary every time, and it's been happening for at least 5 years, if not longer, at this point that I've noticed. And I thought I was crazy for a while because I'm like, there's no way. This just must be a wild coincidence, or my guides are talking to me. Enough with the nonsense. Now that I know, or at least I feel like it, a deeper knowing that there's something afoot here. Yeah, I would say, Brandy, though, with the human design, if it's in your periphery, you know, I'm gonna probably I'm not gonna be live Friday. My mom's coming into town actually. She had to reschedule because she was in the emergency room. And of course we were sick that whole week of Boston's birthday party. So she didn't actually make it down. And fun fact, this is the only birthday party of Boston she's ever missed. And she was just scared, going to the ER and just feeling really lethargic and didn't want a chance, something happening if she were driving 4.5 hours down here. So she stayed home, but she's making up for it by coming up this weekend. So she'll be here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and leaving Sunday. So no live stream Friday, but maybe next Wednesday. Again, that'll be at 11 a.m. Mountain Time here. We will maybe dive into just basics of human design, or just where to go to run a chart, and just how to kind of get you started to where if you feel the need or desire to go searching how to know more about that, you can do that whenever you want. Yeah, as a person who's constantly trying to parse the difference between my true intuition and my anxious thoughts, I know exactly what you mean. Yes, there you go. So you know what's up. Yeah, it is scary. All this AI stuff. But then I kind of went, down a further rabbit hole again with more this knowing or feeling rather than like mental rabbit holes, which I spiral mentally all the time. Yes. But this is more of that more spleen center in human design. And if you don't have it defined, that doesn't mean you can't ever have access to that energy. It just means that you might have to find a generator or someone who has that sacral authority, or sorry, splenic authority, or has the gates that you're missing, or it is colored in for them. And then that creates, if you have some of it, they have the other part of it, and it overlaps. That channel is now active when you're around certain people. And that even kind of works when you're listening to certain people online. If they have certain things activated and you bump up against their content, you might get things or downloads or knowings that you wouldn't get just on your own if you didn't have certain things going on. And vice versa. Maybe certain people connect to you and they're like, man, I feel like I can tell you anything. And, I just feel so motivated, inspired when I'm meeting, your energy, Brandy Lynn. And, this is, this can at least kind of explain why, energetically speaking, this happens. And then there are other people you're like, get away from me. There's just some people that they can be the nicest to you, but you want nothing to do with them. Again, you can see it if you compare charts. Not that you're going to go around asking everybody their birth time to try to sit here and uncover and investigate everything, but at least the people in your life that are close to you, your parents or your children or your spouse or your best friend, of course, ask them permission. Don't just go run a chart on them and try to learn all their deep dark secrets, right? But like I asked permission from both of my kids. I'm like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. My husband doesn't care, so it's like, okay, cool. I'll run charts and see. Yeah, because I'm a pure generator, and Wrigley's a pure generator. Boston's a emotional manifesting generator, and Ryan is a projector. So very cool. And I guess generator is the most common, like, people in the world. I think there's like 34, 35%, I think, are generators. Yeah. But you can have different types of, even within like generator. Well, manifesting generator is its own type. Manifestor is its own type. Generator is its own type. Reflector and projector. I think those are the 5 types. But then you can have pure generator, or like, I want to say like emotional something. I don't know. You have to look into. I mostly know about like more my chart than like the whole thing as by and large, if that makes sense. I'm nowhere near as schooled in human design as I am astrology. Yeah, they do just default to the tropical zodiac chart unless you go to geneticmatrix.com and buy or try out. I think you can do a free trial, but you might have to put credit card information. I don't remember. Um, but when I had my chart run by Victoria Grace, we had a big presentation. She did like a 2-hour presentation when we had Patreon. And I still have that video over on Patreon. And she really went and was like helping people learn and was using my chart as the example. But I also had her after that live stream. Her and I just privately, I traded her a 1-hour reading and she did like a 1-hour sidereal chart on me. And in sidereal astrology, I was a manifesting generator. So it's like, But just knowing how much of this, just the tropical, resonates with me, I'm going to learn as much as I can just about this tropical chart. And then once I have until I get bored or burn out on it or whatever happens. Because last time I'm like, yeah, this is fascinating. And I went down like a 3-week rabbit hole on it. And then, ADHD brain was guiding me somewhere else, which is fine. I like to sometimes flip from flower to flower like a bee on different, interests and stuff. So it's fine by me. But usually if it's an interest for me for, at least a few weeks to a month or longer, chances are I will at some point come back, circle back and revisit it and then have it deepen as an interest. And then, maybe that interest will carry me through for a while. Or I'll put it on back burner again and cycle back. Like that's just what I do. I don't know. So geneticmatrix.com is where I initially went, but you can go to bodygraph.com, jovian.com. If you basically Google free human design chart, there's any number of different ones and you can learn your basics. And say if you have a 1-3, what is it called? Let's just say generator. Okay, say you're a generator and you just want to know what does that mean? You can go to YouTube and type in human design generator and it'll give you any number of videos that you can intuitively. And that's something that I'm doing now more is I'm intuitively using that more spleen center to guide me, like if I'm looking for something online. But anyway, so going down those rabbit holes then led me to even in human design. So there's different gates. There's the different numbers. Let me see if I can just show you. I'll just show you my chart so you can even understand what the heck I'm talking about. So I'm going to just zoom in. Okay. So this is my chart. So these centers are all active. These. And I have access to them. Oops, let's go. And I have access to the colored in ones anytime I need it, anytime I want it. It's I forget what this is called. There's the ego center and cannot remember what this one's called again, because I have been like really focusing on the ones that are in my chart. So I'm a sacral authority, which sacral is here, but look, this is so active over here in what they call like the psychic or intuitive or instinctual, but again, it's not cerebral. Okay, so 6124 channel, that's the head. And then, yeah, all of this. So, but see how they don't connect. And that means something. And, when you're with certain people, it's like certain things just click into place that, maybe you're telling, your friend about this problem you're having with, I don't know, trying to get organized or something. And then the friend doesn't even have to say anything. You're just in this friend's presence and something clicks for you because maybe they have a gate that will, make it all connect, something like that. But the thing is, so each of these numbers, if it's lit up with a red dot, that means that's active for you. If it's just a number placed there, it's not active. But again, if someone you come into contact with has that gate active or that channel active, or maybe you have, like, say this 11 here, I have the 11 and say Brandy Lynn has 56. So when we meet up on Zoom, that channel gets activated, at least for me. And if she doesn't have that 11, but she has a 56, it'll get activated for her as well. And we can, this is, you really think about it. There's certain people you'll just have this epiphany or breakthrough when you talk to them, or even if you're just, you just in passing, you come into contact with some, one parent on a baseball team or something, and then just something clicks for you, like right after or right during when you're with them. make mental notes of that, because there's reasons. There's reasons these are happening. But it's funny. So when they connect, so like the 61 and 24 up here for me connect, that creates a channel. And it's weird because I was thinking channel. Well, what else do we call a channel? And again, I was thinking more trying to bring it down into the more instinctual knowing, feeling part of trying to process things. And, we call a channel, you can channel information from, guides or this or that or this or that. You can watch a program on TV and change a channel. I was just going down rabbit holes with like word meanings and everything, but you know me. I can't just stop at knowing the answer. Then I dig deeper, deeper, deeper. And usually when I get an answer, 4 more questions pop up. And then when I answer, 4 of those questions, 20 more questions. I just like, yeah, you can clearly see why. Whoops, not that. That's 21 Pilots. Yeah, you can clearly see why. I'm always trying to connect and puzzle piece and yeah. But yeah, we'll probably get more into the human design thing. But something that came through, especially when I was sick, and it didn't quite click then, but it clicked after I really started diving back into my human design stuff. That, where was I going with this? I don't remember. I'm gonna think. I was going somewhere very like, yes, here's my point. I've been trying to make circle and circle and circle. So it's basically, hi, Collide. I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to get it back on the track. And this happens a lot. Usually when I'm trying to get information out, these entities will do that. And I can clearly tell a difference if I'm just, and this is something that'll happen to me a lot too, is I'll go like try to go find my phone, get my phone charger or whatever, and I'll go into the room and I completely forgot what I was trying to do or why I was in there. And then I'll go back downstairs and then it'll hit me again. Like, oh yeah, I guess at least I'm getting more steps in by, yeah. But it's a very targeted attack that just throws you off your process in your mind. But anyway, yes. So what I was going with, I got it, I think. I'll start talking and I'll get there. So yeah, when I was channeling, say like, going back to the word channel that we were talking about, I found my thought, like Archangel Michael or people's crossover loved ones. Now when I do feel the energy of a crossover loved one, I don't channel through them anymore. I connect to my true spirit to get the information, because my true spirit knows this true spirit knows all the true spirits. We're all drops of water in the ocean of source. So how could we not know each other? That's how I get the information now. So yes, I can feel, for Brianna, or Amber 9 in, her mom comes through, or that energy is very close. Same with Brianna, her mom, Mama Monica, is very close a lot of the times when we're reading. So I can still connect to these spirits to get the information that's needed without having to fully, open myself up as a channel to, Mama Monica or, Amber's mom or any of these other, lovely spirits, but yet at the same time could be hijacked. Like, you just never know. Or could be an entity posing as, these lovely beings that, have all the right answers. So instead of connecting out, I'm connecting in and through to get the information I need. And it's still very resonant because I can get the information I need from my true spirit, from their true spirit, and bring it through this way. So there's something about channel, not putting your power outside of yourself or looking for those answers outside of yourself. It's just like, boom, down. And it's always within like the womb, kind of maybe even up into solar plexus for me, and just kind of, the gut region. And why, fun fact, why do you think they are working so hard to completely degrade our food and mess up our gut biome with all these pharmaceuticals? I'll call it that. Hopefully didn't trigger anything. But the word harm is right there in pharmaceutical. It's right there. They have to speak the truth. And that's why they call it a show. Again, going back to the program you're watching, you're changing the channel, you're watching the show. They have to tell you what they are doing, what they have planned. Even if it's appearing as fiction, it's there for you to give, pay your attention as currency, energy flowing in the direction of what you're paying attention to, so that they can bring about certain realities. Like I said, they have the technology, but they don't have the creative life force energy to bring that reality they want to create to the forefront. So they need our creative energy to pay into the bank of what we're watching, what they're showing us, to give consent. And our consent is subconscious. And something else that I've felt into is the subconscious. They say it's a collection of, your Akashic records and everything you've ever seen, smelled, tasted, touched in this life and all the others in this, whatever. Sure, maybe, but it's also an implant. Much like the soul is an implant to basically keep the score. Same with the subconscious. So it's not even us. Subconscious mind is not you. Your conscious mind, which is connected to your true spirit, is you. Yeah. Crazy you're speaking on this. I've been trying to be more aware of this channeling, but sometimes something was telling me to go within and let's see, and not outwards. Yeah. And here's the thing. When you hear something that validates something that you intuitively felt, that feels good, and that can still be something we do. But the massive authority that we should be having in our lives should not be coming from this person, that person, especially if it's somebody who has no knowledge of what it is you're trying to do. You're taking advice from this friend from high school or something, just for the example, about you starting a business, but this person has had a corporate 9-to-5 job since high school ended, or maybe they've worked a couple of jobs, but they've never owned their own business. And here they are trying to give you advice. Well, I do this, or you should do that. Think of, where you're getting your answers from. Do these people, can they feel into your energy, with your permission, and know what your true spirit has in mind for you? I mean, a lot of even just psychics and readers are just getting these information. I'm not saying everybody, and I'm not trying to call any one specific person out, but just in the spiritual community, anyone can pick up a deck of cards, turn on their camera, and go online. And maybe they are getting you accurate answers, but where are those answers coming from? Where are they getting this information from? Have they protected and cleared and cleansed their energy to a point before even getting online? And how would you know if they did or didn't? You're going to have to feel into it. You're going to have to feel into it for yourself to know, is this person clear? Is this person channeling information from entities that are steering them in a wrong direction? And then by way of going to also now steer me in a wrong direction. If you really think about it, it's kind of a dangerous game we get into, just randomly trusting people. Even through something as, seemingly harmless as a pick a card reading. We have no idea where that information is coming from. Even if someone's telling you, hey, I did this, this, and this to, clean my energy, feel into it for yourself and see if they're telling the truth, or are they lying to you? Or are they just telling you what you want to hear? So we got to be our best discerners and our first authorities on anything. We are the saviors. We are the ones we've been waiting for this whole time. And we're sitting here waiting around for some outside source or force to come in and, do the heavy lifting and do the dirty work. No, that's why we're here. That's our job. We can feel that love from, our creator. We can feel that, but that force runs through us. It is us. It's who we are as well. So we're never not connected to it. We just, a lot of times are so up here that we forget, or, we're not as connected maybe as we could be. It's like that plug is slightly plugged into the wall, but not quite. So like we're getting a spark here and there, but it's, once you fully plug that in and have that reliable source to the original source creator, we're going to all be much better off. And there's another thing I was going to say too, and I don't remember. It's good too. You gotta love it. They're trying in the ways that they are now, trying to knock me off my game. And now I'm feeling a pulse right here. So these directed energy, WEAPONS, that they use for, causing certain Mother Nature things to happen, they can also target at our personhood and make things happen in that way as well. I was going somewhere with that. Oh, I found it. I found it. Sneaky dudes. I got it. Oh, and it just left again. God dang it. Okay, this is hard. I'm going to have to work really hard today to stay on point and not let trains be derailed. Here we go. I found it again. Ooh, and a raven just swooped up. It just swooped up. Okay, I see you, Spirit. Thank you. And look what's on the back of the deck. I speak with sincerity. Well, I'm trying to. Keep losing it, gaining it, losing it, gaining it. It went away again. I had it too. I had it. See, this is, you guys, yeah, once in a while I'll forget my train of thought, but not as bad as I have today. So we know we're being targeted. Okay, I got it again. I got it. Future selves. I literally spoke with sincerity. So now that thought is more tangible, that I'm not going to lose it now. So our future selves. I had this wild epiphany as I was almost falling asleep the other night. I think it was Sunday. Yeah, I think it was Easter Sunday night. That so many of us that are here right now incarnated are actually, and again, time being what it is, take this as it resonates. So many of us are actually here from the future, or the future of the human line, to come in and gain back all the soul fractals that had splintered off, so that we can get the heck out of here for the last time. Like, this is go time. I got chills now as I'm saying that. So it's like so many, this side too. So many of us are here at this time to literally, like we're in the building. The earthquake is about to happen. We are gathering what we need for, the next step before this whole thing crumbles, the building crumbles. And it's weird because that's kind of the analogy I had. And then I think it was was it Taiwan? Big 7.4 something earthquake. Again, I didn't go and read any specific post, but I just saw a headline. Dutch Sense here on YouTube. He's always not just reporting on the earthquakes, but he predicts the next one's hitting here. It's going to be really big because this, and this happened. And 10 times out of 10, he's exactly right, even though he's basically a targeted individual at this point and still trying to speak the truth, because all these officials are saying that you can't predict earthquakes. You can't even predict tornadoes. You can't predict this. Well, he's proven time and time again. I've been following since 2016. I don't watch everything, but once in a while I feel called to see what he's talking about. He's constantly on the money. And if you can't predict, then boy, let's just call him Nostradamus, because he's predicting left and right. But he posted something, so many things. I don't know. Just check him out if you feel so inclined about just knowing about what Mother Nature's doing. That's his channel. But anyway, yes, we are here from the future. Again, if it doesn't resonate, don't take it. But I think for me, again, think. That's just a word I use a lot when I'm not literally thinking. It's a feeling and a knowing, but I say think. It's just a word that we throw around and use almost interchangeably at this point as feeling, seeing, thinking, So when I say think, yes, sometimes I am thinking, but it's more of a feeling, a knowing when I say that. So I'm almost feeling like when I accidentally say think, I need to correct it. It's a knowing, it's a feeling. But I say think almost just by default, and I'm trying to just get less cerebral and more into that gut space. But one of those channels up in this region on the human design that I have is about the medicine woman and the storyteller, because that's how we used to, generation after generation, we'd pass this knowledge down verbally or maybe even more telepathically, and even in written forms. But as of late, these written forms have to be more mythological or fictional to get that information through, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So it's both cool and also very frustrating to see that, yes, this is why I feel so inclined to write. It's literally in the human design chart for me. It's literally in, as that now Virgo ascendant that I've discovered, and of course Mercury moon, the writer. It's the writer, the storyteller, and the medicine woman being the Virgo in the chart. So it's like these two things really do correlate with each other. It's just crazy. you can go on so many rabbit holes and learn so much about yourself. And you can both at the same time hold these two very exciting and very angry thoughts of, I'm learning who I am, exciting, angry. I'm exactly who this chart says I am because it's all constructed, which can make us very angry because it's like, do we really have free will? Maybe the free will I think I have is just what the construct has said I should be doing. And maybe I'm very passionate about, writing, but the construct is telling me to write. But I'm going to make the most of it. And of course, every time that I do sit down to write, before I sit down to write, it's just like when I sit down to use any kind of divination or shamanic journeying, I set very clear intentions that I'm channeling through the only thing I channel, my own true spirit. I'm allowing my true spirit to come through and bring whatever words or concepts or themes or ideals to the forefront. Because otherwise, whatever muse is floating around out there, maybe even people with creative blocks, so like, just bring on the muses. It's like, but what are these muses? Are they trying to steer us in a wrong direction to then steer others in a wrong direction with our writing? Or are we tuning into something that's a pure channel to the divine? So even those of you that are writers or creators in any way, even if you're just rearranging your furniture, tuning into your true spirit to get the correct information for yourself, to get the correct decision, the correct decision-making process, it shouldn't be going on up here. It should be but again, if you're somebody who doesn't have that spleen center very activated or defined, it could be very difficult for you to get into that feeling. But when certain people in your life have that active and you're around them, you can really use that to your advantage to feel into what it is that is right for you and humanity. Because really, what's right for you and what's in alignment with your true spirit is correct for also humanity as by and large as a whole, and for what we're here to try to do. We're not here, and this is something that I used to think, back, and that was a think, yes, back when I was more involved in what we'd consider like the New Age movement, which I have nothing to do with. Yes, some of the concepts overlap. That's the thing. That's how they get us. These things that are deep, resonant knowings, they overlap. Oh God, it happened again. Where did my thought go? Stop! I was going somewhere with it, and it was guys, this doesn't happen all the time. I'm being attacked. Yeah, 3 gates that connect. Oh, cool! That's awesome. Yeah, so when we get together, even if it's online, something's circuiting. The circuitry is connecting. I was going somewhere with my thoughts right before. And it's not even like I read a comment that like derailed me, which sometimes that does happen, and it's not your guys' fault, it's my fault. This is nobody's fault today. This is targeted forgetting what I was trying to say. Let me stop trying to think about what it was and feel into what it was. Just give me a moment, guys. Those just joining us and be like, what is she doing? Meditating? Sleeping? She taking a cat nap? I don't know, guys. The thought just... This is happening a lot today. Ooh, I'm getting chills down my right thigh. Almost said left, but I meant right. Your other right. Yeah, I did. I put up so many protections. I'm just going to have to triple up the protections because they're obviously getting through. So I need to... Give me a moment. Doing some internal work real quick. Maybe grab a snack or a drink or something. Centering myself. Yeah, I find when these attacks are very targeted like this, that if you, yeah, and we're about the 49-minute mark, but I worked for about a half hour before I logged on to this live stream. So yeah, my hour's probably up from when I started putting my protections in place. And I found when I was really being heavily targeted, when I was sick, I had to put my protections up about every 45 minutes to an hour, or they were getting through. So I mean, you got to be so diligent when you're so under attack. But let me finish up my little process here and clear. Yeah, I can see a lot of stuff in my right peripheral field here that's just... And fun fact, it's not even an entity. It's just AI. Of course. Clearing that out, throwing it into my magical, spiritual trash can of fire. What a divine trash can of fire. I still need to come up with an official term I can call that. Clearing it out, clearing it out. Okay. Now stepping back into my protection. And there's something that I've been doing to really amp up my protection is I put these 3 almost like golden white bubbles around myself filled with amniotic fluid of spirit. I know that sounds kind of gross. And then I put this uterus or womb of my true spirit around me. Then I put this like metallic, and it's not any metal that's on this planet. And I'm closing my eyes just because I'm doing my work as I'm talking as well. It's almost this like metallic ball. I can almost picture it like a moon, actually, in a way. But it's a metallic protective to encase all this, protection and not to let anything out in to penetrate that field at all. Because anything I need, I can go within to my true spirit to get the information. So I don't need any outside information or interference. And now after I do that, I put this almost like, it's funny because sometimes I'm called to do this pyramid of like gold and white. Gold and white is one of my favorite colors to work with as far as cleansing and clearing and protecting. Sometimes I put this like gold and white pyramid around myself, but I also at times put this like blacker than black, just the void space kind of pyramid around myself to really protect. And that really does protect. And weirdly enough, I did some remote viewing a while back. We're talking like 2018. And I actually saw a very similar looking crystal. I don't know if you can hear that very loud jet out there. Dark black pyramid beneath the pyramids. Yeah, it's a really loud jet. And because we kind of have some rain and low cloud cover, it's just bouncing off the mountains and just amplified sound in this valley here. Well, I'm more on a hill, although my street has something to do with the valley. I mean, these people can just go Google where I live anyway, so it's not a big secret. But yeah, very funny. Oh, and funny thing too in human design, where I can't remember what it's called. I have it screenshot so I can access it pretty quickly. It even tells you like, well, I think this is because it was a paid. So what's the next one? Okay. So environment, valleys. That's the best environment for me to be in is a valley. Cool, huh? But like Ryan and Wrigley have shores. So like a balance of like water and earth. Mine is valleys. I need to be able to see out, but I do love my mountains. So there is one also mountains. I don't have that though. Maybe my sidereal manifesting generator has mountains as my environment. Oh, your shores too. Cool. Yeah. And then if you want to see determination, right above environment, determination, mine is indirect. So that tells you how you consume or how you should best consume. Indirect means I do best consuming after dark or when it's dark or when I'm just not, it's cloudy and overcast and I'm like well within the room when I eat. If I'm eating in direct sunlight, like, on an outdoor patio or something, it's going to be a lot more trouble for my body to digest that food. And, fun, weird fact too, they always say, like when I would be like rigorously working out, like after Boston was born and other kind of times sporadically where I'm like more, I need to, get my weight in order and just feel better in my skin, not to eat after, a certain point in time. And it's weird because I look back to when I was in college and I would stay up till like 5, 6 a.m., in the summer specifically, when I wasn't in school. And I would just get so much amazing creative work done between like midnight and 4 a.m. going into like 5 a.m. before it's light out. Just so much amazing creative work. And I would eat like my meal, like my big dinner around, anywhere between midnight and 4 a.m. And then I'd go to sleep and I'd probably wake up around, 11 or noon. I'm going to sleep around, 5 or 6 a.m. And I just wouldn't be hungry at all. And especially in the summer, I'm just not hungry during the day at all. But I'm always super thirsty at night all the time. And I'm also like, not, and it's weird because like I will go through phases where I'm not at all hungry like after dinner at night. But now that we are back in sports ball mode, as Brandon calls all of it, go sports ball. We're in sports ball mode right now. So there's either going to have to be some really super early dinners or really late dinners. And instead of forcing myself to eat at like 4 p.m. when I'm not even remotely hungry, I'm just going to allow myself, now that I know this about myself, to wait. My husband, Ryan, he's a calm, what was it called again? Determination. Which means he needs to be in a calm, serene, quiet, private place when he eats. Wrigley, my youngest, is in a high sound environment. So things can be noisy, chaotic, and he's eating. Maybe he's distracted watching, a screen or a TV or something while he's eating. And, they say, oh, you shouldn't do that because you might overeat or you might not, whatever. But for him, that's actually what he should, by, moving around or walking, talking, whatever when he's eating. That's fine. And then Boston was something else. Can't remember what it was called. To where he basically should only eat one thing at a time instead of like putting a whole bunch of ingredients into something, like a casserole or a whatever. He should eat, like if he's having, let's just say breakfast, he has some eggs, some bacon, and some toast. He should eat all the eggs first, then all the bacon, then all the toast. I can't do that. I have to have a little bite of this, a little bite of that, a little bite of that, and then I like circle, like it's more counterclockwise though for how I do it. I'm a weirdo. Like around my plate and just have a bite of this, then a bite of that, then a bite of this. And I do that. But he's best to have, eat all of this first, then eat all of that next, and then eat all of that consistently. And he's someone who's supposed to eat like multiple times throughout the day. It's really cool though. Like you can learn so much about, and the weird thing is it's not even so much about what you eat, but how and where and the environment in which you're consuming. And that's not just consuming food, that's also, consuming to learn things. We have to consume content to learn something. You probably would, like for me, I would naturally be that night owl that's eating and consuming and even creating in those more nighttime hours or after the sun goes down types of hours. Do you know human design came about? Someone mentioned the gene keys to me as a tool, but looking into it was channeled by someone. I'm curious about where the information comes from. Yeah, and that's the weird thing is, so much of like the Bible, the Gnostic Gospels, the Quran, Book of Mormon, like all these are channeled materials, every single one of them. I would say in a way, astrology would also be channeled because who's to say what Venus represents? Or Jupiter, or that asteroid or that asteroid. Like who sat down and is now the authority on what that represents? Maybe I want Venus to mean destruction instead of Pluto. It's like everything. I think everything in some regard, and especially something like this, is probably channeled. It probably is. But here's the weird thing: if it actually works, then there's something to it. So whoever they channeled it from, whether it's evil or good or whatever, the fact that we can see it working and in motion, we don't have to bow down like, this is a great tool for humanity. Thank you so much for channeling this. Instead, we can look at it as, well, what does this matrix have planned for me? I'm going to use what resonates of this information for me to do what's best for myself or to learn as much as I can about myself. Even if this was somehow channeled from the archons that created this matrix system, I'm going to learn as much as I can about it so that I can do what's best for me with the information I learn. Or, ooh, that doesn't resonate at all. I know that now. I can just put that away. I don't need to look at that anymore. Yeah, he did say it was channeled. I think his name was like Ra Urahu or something, but I think he had a different name initially. And a lot of times too, when people like have one name and then they change it, to me that's kind of sketch. I don't know. Maybe not. But to me, it's like, well, what, the name you got at birth wasn't good enough? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because like a lot of those like gurus, like Osho, guru guy that I can't remember what his name, Rajneesh or something. Or maybe that was his group. I don't know. But he had a different name to start, and then another one is Ram Dass. He had a different name at the beginning. I don't know, but we could look at it like, you know, oh, this was the Done Creative Live, but now it's Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Like, why'd she change it? She's sketchy. I don't know. Maybe whatever told me to change it is sketchy. I don't know, but I always wonder, or maybe there's a, you know, like people do change their name, like, you know, specifically in our culture, women will change their last name to their husband's last name, or you know, people don't resonate with their family and don't resonate with their name, so they'll change their name to reflect more the power they want to convey in this world, especially if they know anything about gematria and numerology and yeah, all of that stuff. To put a name to them that feels more reflective of who they know themselves to be on a more soul level or spiritual level. So I can see it. I can see why some of these people have done that. But then there's always like two sides of the coin. There's people that do it for beneficial reasons, and then there's others that do it or guided to do it from the thoughts in their head for maybe a more nefarious reason. Like, you just never know. Again, that's why we go down into that womb space and really discern what's up here, what's going on. All right, we're an hour in, so I've rambled long enough. It's time for our collective reading. I do not think we have any donations. Let me just double check though. Wrong thing. Nope, no donations. So we're gonna get into our collective, and if any donations come through, awesome. If not, we'll get right into our giveaway and our drawing. All right. So those of us watching now and on the replay, what do we need to know? And of course, there's that eclipse coming up in 5 days. So, you know, you might be feeling it because the whole collective is like losing their minds about it. So even if you've kind of distanced yourself, you still might be picking things up about the eclipse or people talking about it or seeing things about it on the, you know, wherever it is you're hanging out online, you might see it. But let's just see what we need to know just about the current energies going into, let's just say the next week, because we won't be together on Friday. So over the next week, what do we need to know? And that includes that eclipse time. So 8 of Swords, yeah. Stay out of you're going to be getting a lot of downloads or implants with the thoughts. Thoughts are going to be attacked. So if you're feeling a certain type of way, it may not even be you or your own emotions bringing these things up to feel these things. I really am seeing this as like the psychic attack card at this point. It really is. It really is. And same with the 9 of Swords, but that's more specific to the cause of the anxiety. But the 8 of Swords, I always say the good news with the 8 of Swords is we can literally just take off that blindfold, kind of shimmy out of those binds on the traditional Rider-Waite depiction of this card and just not, you know, no, I'm not playing in the realm of thought spiraling on this really negative topic. I'm just not. So it's about you stepping more into your conscious self to not allow certain things to come into your energy. And just like when I had to kind of stop my live stream to put up my, you know, and nothing bad has happened since as far as hijacking what I was going to say next. It hasn't happened since I did that. So you might, and if you notice, like, well, I did my protection this morning and it's, you know, dinner time and now I'm really feeling it. Or even just brain fog, just not sure what to say. Like if you're coming in an interaction with somebody and your thoughts just get wiped out from under you, that'll let you know you're under psychic attack as well. Or just brain fog of like, what was I here to do? What was I going to do? You'll know that it's time to do another cleanse and another clearing and then another round of protection. All right, what else do we need to know next week or so? Yeah, 10 of Wands. Okay, so being able to lay down some burdens. I love it. Yep. Gonna be able to lay down those burdens. All right, what else do we need to know? Yeah, something is coming to a head though with this. So you're just realizing I need to be done because I'm almost reading this kind of pile on the floor as this person has put this down and they're just like, nah. But once they put it down, it's like they took this bind here and put it over their eyes like, oh, I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to deal with it. And maybe now's not the time to deal with it. But wiping your hands of anything that's not you and clearing that energy out, you may not even have to deal with it. And that's why this is standing out, that it's not your energy. So you don't have to sit here and heal and peel and whatever. You just cleanse, clear, protect, and on to the next, because it wasn't even yours to begin with. It may trigger things that are yours, though. That's the kicker. It may trigger things that are yours, because when we're already feeling a little overwhelmed with things, and then something else just, it's almost like the, I was playing this game on my son's laptop or iPad with the cool math games. So it's like you drop all these little fruits, and these two fruits will equal this fruit, and if you set them next to each other, it's kind of like Tetris in a way, but different. And you stack up your grocery bag, but if you get to the top, but what I'm seeing is you just put one more on, and like right before that, it wasn't so much to tip it over the balance, but you put one more on, and boom, too much. It's too much. So it might just be one tiny little thing that sets this off, that triggers something that is yours, but you can be done and dusted with the things that are not yours, and then use that trigger as a gift to then feel into, well, what is mine that was triggered that I can now peel rather than heal? Because we can heal indefinitely till the cows come home, and we're going to be healing and healing and healing. But if you tune into your true spirit, there's no healing to do. It is pure. It is untainted. It is the rawness of who you are, the divinity, and it's still within you, but again, under layers. So we got to peel. We got to peel. We got to peel, not heal. And then the Knight of Swords came out. So whatever is going on in the next week, it's not going to last long. You're going to be able to move through it. I would say even within hours, not even a full day, because the Knight of Swords is super quick. Eight of Wands is right up there with this Knight of Swords as far as two quickest moving cards in the deck. And again, the Knight of Swords, he's carrying his sword. He's rushing in to cut it off, be done, not dwell, not thought spiral, just get it done, get it peeled out, and protect it again. All right, what else do we need to know? Two of Pentacles. So there might even be confusion, if thoughts are coming in, like, are these mine? Are these something else? So again, it's going to have to be dropping more into that spiritual part of you to ascertain or, discern what is mine, what is not mine. And even just if you don't know, you don't know what we don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. So we can even just say, okay, true spirit, or, whatever you call that part of yourself. Hey, what is it that's mine? I don't need to know on a mental, conscious level, but true spirit. So clear that out. Clear what isn't mine and help me tune into what is mine so I can do the work. So we don't even need to know in like the cerebral part of our mental process part of ourselves, because our true spirit already does know. So just tuning into that true spirit and saying, point me in the direction of what I should do. Or I would say, even before you get to that step, peel and clear what doesn't need to be here. And then anything else that I do need to do the work on, please make it very clear and concise what I need to do. And you will start to see the answers you're seeking, or, the downloads that you need to help you, with the task at hand. Brandy Lynn has donated. All right, we'll get into it right after this. Let's get one more tarot card, and then we have a couple oracle cards I want to throw in here. All right, for all of us. Ooh, yes! We're taking charge. We're taking control. And he has, staked his claim with that sword. I mean, look at that. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is the Emperor in the traditional Rider-Waite carrying a sword or holding a sword? I can't remember. I cannot recall. I want to say no for some reason. Feels more like a staff. Not so much a wand, but like a staff. Now I want to know. I'm going to Google it. I can almost see it, but not quite in my mind's eye. What's the Emperor holding? Emperor Rider. Wait. I want to see it. Show me. Okay, so it's not a staff. It's like a slightly looking like an ankh. Does anyone know what that is that he's holding? Oh, this way. Right there. Almost looks like an ankh, but I guess maybe it is a sword. But he's like, oops. He's like holding the sword part if it is a sword. Yeah, I don't see a tip on the sword. Oops, wrong side. I don't see a tip on that sword. I keep opening it and then opening it further. I don't know. Interesting. I guess it does look very similar up top, but it's more pointed. So it was, yeah, to me it felt more like a staff or a scepter. Yeah, that's what I was seeing in my mind's eye, but I couldn't recall exactly what it looked like. So similar but different. Similar top, but it's more pointed like a sword in this depiction. But this is almost like, cutting out, cord removals, cord cutting. But I like to say more remove it rather than just cut it, because even if we just cut it, all the roots and the dead, even if that connection is severed, all the roots and the deadness of that connection is still within our energy. So I like to pull them out by the roots, and then I send in my own true spirits, divine, original source, creator, healing energy into that space to heal any residue that was left from whatever connection. And I do cord cuttings probably daily, if not every other day. Even with the people in my life, you start to get frustrated with one of the kids or whatever. You're like, okay, there's a cord here. Let's clear that energy. And then I can show up in a just much better way. All right. Anything else we need to know? What do we need to know between now and next Wednesday? Those watching now and on the replay. And of course, if you're watching way after next Wednesday, which would be the 9th, 10th of April. If you're watching, I don't know, November of 2027. Hi, I don't know what you're doing here, but hi, welcome. This can still resonate because that's how it goes. I line in truth. Wow. And I follow my inner guidance. So this is exactly what this whole reading has basically been: get connected to your true spirit. Let them help you. Them is you, but it does feel so separate, but it is us. That true spirit part of us is within us. It is us. It's who we are and who we forgot we are. But we're peeling to find back who we are. And yeah, it is about following our inner guidance and aligning ourselves with that truth. We have the snake here, which, can have very negative connotations, but also to me, it's a very healing. When the snake is finally able to shed its skin, it's like shedding or healing, peeling what's no longer serving. And that's how I'm going to see this. Love that. All right, I feel like we need one more. Let's get the shamanic medicine cards out to play. Anything else we need to know? And then we're going to get into Brandy Lynn's question. Those of us watching now and on the replay, what do we need to know right now for the next week? Got 2 cards. We have offerings with wealth. Ooh, beautiful card. Abundant card. And then ancestors with wisdom. And here's the thing. Those of you that were here a while back, I want to say it was probably 3 or so weeks ago, we were talking about I was talking about mostly, and then you guys were talking in the chat too, about how I do feel called to kind of know who my ancestors were, but I don't really feel a deep, loving connection to them. I just almost feel detached in a way. And now that I've had some space and time from that discussion, and I felt like a total heel after saying that. I'm like, what kind of ungrateful so-and-so doesn't feel that love for their ancestors? But then, being sick and stepping back a little bit from that conversation, I don't feel so bad about it, because I think it's by design that so many people that do feel that deep call and pull to their ancestry. I mean, I do have a reverence and a respect for where I came from, but I don't feel the need to dive in and basically relive all of what they did. I am my own version of them, but I'm also them, or part of them, an amalgamation of all of them, to where it is my purpose to be more in the present moment, to, clear those karmas or wounds or sins, or, because a lot of our ancestors were really bad people. I did trace my family line back. It was Edward not the 4th. It was Edward the something. I told Brandy Lynn, we kind of went on a discussion about whatever, but it traced back to Charlemagne, which is kind of that ruler that all these presidents trace back to Charlemagne, and they're evil. And so I guess I'm part of that line as well. But I think so many people on the planet trace back to those lines, because there were a lot less people there, and there's a lot more people now. Oh wow. That's a conversation I had with my husband about kind of the between 1700 and now. Oh man, I don't know that I want to get into that rabbit hole today, though. At least maybe we'll do that next week. Huge epiphanies about NPCs came through. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. But yeah, let me finish this thought and then I'll finish that thought. We can get the wisdom of our ancestors by tuning into our own bodies and Mother Earth, and the things that, if there is a specific ancestor you do feel a connection to, or even you've just kind of again created almost an amalgamation of ancestors that represent your ancestry that you revere, or I don't want to use the word worship. I don't think many of you are out there worshiping your ancestors. It doesn't feel quite right. But just having that respect. You don't even need something that you need to point to. It can be you, because that's all within you. Your DNA is connected to that which they were, and you now are. There you go. Okay, let me. I'm gonna pull 2 cards from this deck, but I'll write down what I want to talk about next Wednesday, and then we'll get into what these cards are. So 1, 2, and then we're gonna get into Brandy Lynn's reading. Okay, so, and this one just might do it as far as the thought police go. This just might do it. I can already feel targeted energy at that live stream, because this is I have chills. Yeah, this is a big topic, and something that we can really understand what's actually going on. It has everything to do with those that can't really trace their ancestry back past even like the mid 17, whatever, which is a lot of people. I know a lot of people that it doesn't go back any farther than that. There's a lot of people I know personally that can't even trace their ancestry past like 1840, which is not that many generations back if you really think about it. It's a big discussion, big download, big knowing that I got. Why there's so many people, it just exploded out of nowhere, and how and why. Let me write that down. And it has everything to do with, I don't know if you guys have heard about the orphan trains, and think back to like the turn of the 19th to 20th century, all the orphanages, all the sanitariums, that doesn't so much exist, right? And the foundlings, where are people finding all of these kids? Where did they come from? We're going to talk about that on Wednesday. I always like when I get the idea. Yeah, right? Where did they come from? Where did they come from? It's a huge topic. Like, we could probably talk for weeks about it. But yeah, I'm going to write down foundlings. Incubator babies, look into that if you want to know what we're talking about. Incubator babies and World's Fairs. Where the heck are all the parents for these incubator babies at the World's Fairs that were literally put in like an exhibit that you could pay money and go like tour these incubator babies? Where are their parents? Where did they come from? We're going to get into that on Wednesday. Okay, the last 2 cards in our collective, and it looks like someone else has donated. My intuition's telling me it's Sandy, but let's click over here to see. Hi, Sandy. Welcome, welcome. It is Sandy. All right, so we have Brandy and Sandy. That rhymes. Brandy Lynn and Sandy. But first we have reclaim, and I love this. Reclaim your potential. Okay, yes. Heck yes. The number 14, and we have also the number 18. Yeah, because there's so much potential, but again, it's a dumb down. We're dumb down, dumb down, dumb down. Hi, Cha-Cha, welcome. Piggly is here. Wow, we got an influx of friends. Hello, everybody. But I love this, is we're reclaiming our potential that was stolen from us. And fun fact, I've said that like 4 times today. Fun fact, there's a channel called Stolen Potential that does 21 Pilots content. So when I said the potential was stolen, I thought of that content. But that circles that was not a coincidence. That dropped in because 21 Pilots, just listen to their music. They are telling you what's happening here and what they plan, Tyler plans to do about it, at least on his end. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, the lore and the mythology that he's put into the music to help, wake the people up. He's like, we've been here the whole time. You were asleep. It's time to wake up. That's the very beginning part of the jumpsuit music video. If you don't watch anything else by them, just watch that because it's so just poetic and there's a lot of nuggets in there. Okay. All right. And then on the back of the deck, cross the border. So, yeah. And I'm seeing this as like crossing the border, like between your human self and that inner self, or the matrix and the divine. Interpret, play with that as you will. If you want to journal about it, great. I probably will later. I've been doing a lot of journaling and I've just been like, I got like this bump right here where I write because I feel like I'm back in college, just diligently note taking. Yeah, I'm really loving it though because I'm allowing that knowing. It's like automatic writing where you would allow whatever guide or spirit that's just out there to take control, not allowing any of that, but it is to my true spirit allowing that information to come through. And it's much more profound and deep than any automatic writing I did with Archangel Michael or, Archangel Raphael and all these other ascended masters and stuff that I used to, do automatic writing to get information that I wanted to know. Just leading me in, as Tony Sayers, they're just putting you in cul-de-sacs. That's really all it is. It's giving you enough information to chase that next breadcrumb, to chase the next breadcrumb, but you're basically chasing your own damn tail. But when you can connect to your true spirit and get information that way, you can actually see spiritual freaking progress being made in your life. Like nothing I experienced when I was channeling all these other supposedly much more divine than me guides and entities and what have you. But since I've stopped doing all of that in the end of 2022, my life is much better for it. And I'm actually gaining true deep knowing that I kept, before when I'd get these intuitive whatever and whatever from this or that different archangel or what have you. I just deep down, I because it came from outside of me, it resonated to a point, but I couldn't, the good things that I got information wise, but I couldn't completely embody them because I think that deep down part of me knew there was lies woven in with the truth. And now that I am, keep the waters pure. Just stared at me from the back of the deck. That's what we're doing by just tuning into our true spirit and only our true spirit. And if we want to connect to anything outside of that, connecting still though through the true spirit to whatever it is that you need to know. But I would almost argue that anything you need to know in this incarnation, you can get that information in the divine time. I mean, maybe now's not the time to know certain things, but when you and at times we're just not asking the right questions. It's not that the answers are wrong per se. It's just that we're not right. Maybe asking the right questions. Maybe we're getting the answers to the questions, but it's not the right question we're asking to get the proper answer that we need or that we can really take to the bank, so to speak. All right, let's get into it for Brandy Lynn. And we have, and yes, those of you that have just joined us, we've had a few people come in. This is going to be our schedule through mid-June. Because baseball, basketball, and soccer. Lots of sportsy stuff going on in the evenings. So Wednesday's live stream will be at this time slot, starting at 11 a.m. Mountain Time and then going till whenever we're done. All right. So Brandy Lynn, I do the best I can. This is already coming out. So you want to know about the eclipse? I'm going to reread your question though, just so I have it. Let's do an eclipse reading because it's go time now, right? Yes. So anytime I pull this card, it just reminds me that our best when we're feeling sick, my best when I was sick in bed was a heck of a lot lower than my best when I'm feeling optimum, ready to, hit life so hard I knock its teeth out. Speaking of, I actually got hit in the tooth and it chipped my front tooth on Saturday. And Monday they got me in first thing and fixed it. But it was noticeable. And I was like, oh my gosh. Can't see it now. It's right here. Wait, right here. But can't see it now. It's fixed. All right. My bite is slightly different because they had to fill that in and then kind of shave a little bit off the bottom tooth that maybe somehow weakened that to get chipped because it was touching the top tooth. Yeah, I don't know. I know it has nothing to do, but maybe there is something because you got kind of knocked off your game. Maybe even just saying this snow day kind of knocked you off your game as far as your schedule or what have you. But you are doing the best you can, and maybe even reminding yourself, well, in this now moment, this is the best I can do. And this is one of the 4 agreements. Always do your best. But it does say in the 4 agreements, your best is going to shift and change from when you're feeling high energy to when you're sick in bed to when you're full of grief to when you're full of creativity. It's going to shift and it's going to change. And this is just coming up for you as a reminder. And it almost is reading like an eclipse here. You can see that this part of the card, gosh, I just gotta look at it. This part of the card is almost kind of going over or eclipsing that. Very interesting. So let's see specifically what Brandy Lynn needs to know about this eclipse. Let's dive in. It's go time. Ooh, got something to say. 9 of Wands. Yeah, you are real close to accomplishing something or just making a pretty, I'm getting a very Lovers vibe from this. I know it looks nothing like the Lovers card, but it's like, yeah, like you said, it's go time. It's time to make a choice about something. 8 of Cups. Maybe you're walking away. Ooh, and the 6 of Swords. And when I was first learning tarot, not when I first learned it, when I just made up all my own, which I still will put in my readings, my original meanings of the cards, which so many, I know, isn't he cute? Isn't he cute? I love the fox. What does a fox say? Ring, ding, 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 ding. Sorry. But when I was first learning the official meanings, which even when I learned the official meanings, it really did blow my mind how many of the meanings overlapped with my kind of, 15-year-old made-up meanings from 1997. But these 2 cards always confused me at first because they are so similar energies. They're both about moving away from something that's just not it for you anymore. But at the heart of the 8 of Cups is, this is Soul of the Hero's journey. It's that, break into Act 2 of leaving the old world behind. But usually in the hero's journey, you do return to that old world, but you're changed for having gone on the journey. And I really am getting a very hero's journey vibe from it, but also a travel over water. So I don't know if this has to do with the current episode you're working through, or maybe even a future episode that you're still unsure of exactly what you want to have happen. It's like life imitates art, imitates life is kind of the vibe I'm getting with this combination of it really mirroring your real life right now. But you're either energetically or mentally or emotionally or maybe even physically moving away from something that's no longer serving you, and in effect finding something that is much more resonant, or just maybe even finding a new way to relate to life or to do something. Finding a new way. Maybe it's even a new app or a new program you're using to make things better. But yeah, you're really close to a breakthrough on something, and it does feel very creative. Really does feel creative. Might even be some research you're doing online about, something with storytelling, or, how to best describe this or that kind of leads you in like an area of the internet that you're getting like a missing piece or something you're not that it's missing right now, but you're just kind of unsure what something is to be able to put it in place. Yeah, this eclipse is bringing you more creative insight, not only with your projects, but also your life. Your life in and of itself is, and again, art imitates life, imitates art is kind of what I'm hearing in my inner being. What else does Brandy Lynn need to know? These eclipse energies, what does she need to know? Keep my own counsel. Wow. Now this is powerful. And that's really highlighting that kind of upper, like higher heart area, kind of going up into the throat. So it's about bridging between like how you feel about something into being able to then express it. And that's something as writers, we really can struggle with at times is I have these big feelings that I want to convey in the scene, or there's a very specific, tone or ambience I'm trying to create here. How do I express that? How do I make that happen? Well, you're about to have a breakthrough with being able to express something, both maybe in your waking regular life and also though in your creative life, in your projects. Yeah, and she looks very serene. Like, yeah, I'm gonna figure this out. I got it. Headphones dying, catching up on 2x speed. Thanks for the great. Right? Yeah, we still have that to deal with, along with the eclipse, along with. Ooh, and fun fact, I didn't realize this, but Chiron, the wounded healer, is exactly conjunct into this eclipse. This is huge, you guys, with like this great American eclipse. This is much deeper than I initially even thought. Like as far as, Chiron being the wounded healer, that's deep, man. That is deep. And this being, Mercury going back over that Gandanta point between Aries and Pisces. Of course, we're talking Babylonian placements here, or Hellenistic astrological placements here. So that's the karmic knot. There's something from the past. There's retribution to be paid for things that have happened in the past. But I'm actually seeing this as a good thing for the people. These systems that are in place that have really suppressed or oppressed or hurt groups, major scaths of people. Many people have been hurt by something, and that is going to be rectified. And it might even be rectified in different ways depending, who you are, what your life situation is. But there's some sort of truth being revealed. And I'm really seeing this too. There's a truth being revealed to you that has to do with your creativity and just literal creative inspiration coming on in for you, Brandy Lynn. So this is big stuff. All right, let's get a couple of I like to call these the gummy bear cards because they're just so cute. All right, gummy bear cards coming in hot. Brandy Lynn, what does she need to know about these eclipse energies for herself personally? And we have here self-branding. Oh my goodness, this is so on point. And then patchwork. Wow. And again, what we're saying, like that missing piece, like what should go here? What would this look like? What should this sound like? Look at that. And Capricorn and Leo are the different astrological signs, both new moons down there. Yeah, 9 and 19. So there's progression there. The 19 adds up to a 10, 9 into 10. That's progression. You're progressing. But you maybe are working or kind of allowing this patchwork of, okay, I'm going to do a little this, a little that. It almost feels to me like kind of experimenting in the kitchen. Like, ooh, this would probably taste pretty good. Or what if I add a little dash of this, a little plop of that, pinch of that, to create something that's uniquely you, uniquely yours. Very cool. So yeah, maybe you are thinking ahead for the self-branding here about exactly how you're going to market yourself. Are you having an author website? Are you doing X, Y, or Z or not? What is being someone who's actually publishing things look like for you? And even if you haven't completely gone down that road yet, maybe you're at least making mental notes of ... question mark, ... question mark. Even if you don't know the answers yet, again, there's a big decision or choice or breakthrough coming for you. And you may even be walking away from how you thought this was going to look initially. And it's going to look, when the thing's all said and done, it's going to look a lot different than you thought it was going to look when you kind of were just in the trenches of figuring it out, if that makes sense. Yeah. All right, so self-branding is my sidereal rising sign. There you go. I love it. So it's almost like you're embracing that part of you to figure things out. Oh, funny! I'm sitting here like in the kitchen, and then we got the recipe card on the back of the deck. It's funny though, because the recipe looks nothing like a kitchen. But yeah, it's a very self-branding, like, I add a pinch of this, a dash of that, to make it uniquely you. because your author journey is going to look different from my author journey or some other person's author journey. But also, again, this art imitates life, imitates art kind of thing that keeps coming through for you is there's also some self-branding you're doing just in your day-to-day life. So it's really beautiful. Oh, no worries, Cha-Cha. Yeah, I'm glad you have your comment or your question up there. Then I have it. Because our chat doesn't go miles an hour, many miles an hour anyway, like some people's chats. So we're good. No, you're good. You're fine. All right. So let's get into Sandy's question. And then Cha-Cha is on deck. Cool, cool. Okay. So Sandy wants a general read. How are you, Sandy? It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. All right, so Sandy, what does our dear Sandy need to know? Tuning into Sandy's true spirit. What does she need to know right now? Ooh, we have the Chariot. So this is like, this can be travel. This can be a new vehicle. This could be just deciding between two, you know, you come to a path that's diverged. Isn't that a poem? I remember we had to sing something, but it was a poem, but we had to sing it in choir in high school. Two paths diverged in a wood. Is that, what is that? Okay, sorry, I'm like Googling it because there's a reason. There's a reason. And it's not the hijack, let me throw you off your game reason. This is coming from down lower, not up here and back down, but yeah, okay. Two paths diverged in a yellow wood. Oh, yes, okay. So it's Robert Frost. It's a poem by Robert Frost. So I'm just going to read this, Sandy. If it doesn't resonate at all, just let it fly on by. This is a message for somebody here. But also, Sandy, definitely this message is for you as well. But it may not be literal. It may be metaphorical. We'll see. So two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Yeah, the road not taken or something like that. Yeah. I'm sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for the passing there, had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Yeah, right. I love choir days. Oh, I have dreams about choir days so much. But anyway, Sandy, this to me feels like someone who might even be like retrospecting, looking back. Mercury is in retrograde right now, so that's a theme, Mercury retrograde wise, to look back and maybe even kind of play out or kind of spiral down certain paths that you didn't take, or paths that you were starting to take and then kind of diverged, walked away from, or even if you're at this precipice of two very different paths that you could take in your life. It could be moving or traveling somewhere, or like maybe leaving where you're at and staying somewhere else for an extended period of time. Or maybe you're even kind of toying around with, well, if I were to move here, what would my life look like? Or if I just stayed here, what would my life look like? Kind of playing around. It's not like definitive decisions being made yet, but you might be toying with some ideas. And it doesn't have to be moving. That's just an example here. It could be, choosing how to spend your time during the day. Do I do this or do I do that instead with my time? Or do I split it up and do both? These are all choices, all decisions. But what does Sandy need to know about this or just anything else that needs to come through? Nine of Swords. Yeah, it might be causing anxiety, whatever this choice is. And a lot of times I get more of an anxious kind of vibe from more of a Two of Pentacles going into like Two of Swords energy of, I just don't know what to do. So someone tell me what to do. But I'm kind of getting that vibe from this card as well, as like sleepless nights, anxiety, and this could be something from the past that caused this anxiety, sleepless nights that you're now thinking about. This doesn't have to be what's going on in your life right now, because I'm seeing like a past meets present kind of connection. Or maybe there was this decision you didn't make in the past, and now you're trying to think, is that still a viable option for me now? Anything else Sandy needs to know about this? It's kind of even confusing me, but yeah, something that's like heartbreaking, something that really mentally like just eats at you. Something in the past though. This is not current. I mean, you're maybe currently thinking about it, or in the very near future, you might be thinking about these things, but they happened way in the past. Yeah, something that caused grief and heartbreak, loss, sadness, maybe even guilt, resentment, trauma of some sort. That these thoughts are coming up so you can peel them out, peel them off, peel them away, and be done. And we did talk about this in the collective reading. If you missed part of that, go back and watch how you can know what's yours and what's not. And that might be where this confusion of this Nine of Swords, though I normally don't consider this a confused card. It's a very anxious, kind of insomniatic type of card, but not so much confusion. But I'm getting a very like almost like, well, what is real? What do I believe? What did happen? Something from the past. It could be some sort of unsolved mystery in your life from your past that you're just kind of chewing on in the near future to try to resolve. But asking, going back to that collective reading, but asking your true spirit if you even need to resolve it. If you can't just instead just let it go, let it be, let it fly. Yeah, wow. So we have potential coming through for you as well. And now that we're doing your reading, I'm almost seeing this as like an hourglass. But the fact that we have, this beautiful little, valley with these houses and trees, like there's so much life left to live in your hourglass here. So much happiness, so much abundance. It's very abundant kind of energy going on here. So there's something you maybe even looking back on your life and thinking, I should have done this better. Or I should have done that different. Or what if that person never did that to me? What would my life look like? But this is showing me, even if you kind of do go down some of those roads or those old potentials for yourself and then clear them away, there could be benefit in peeling that off of you so that you can really embody the present moment. What else does Sandy need to know? Cozy. So we have the cozy card. So this might even be, this reminds me of when I was pregnant with Wrigley and we had our baby announcement. Boston was holding the onesie, or he was holding something. It was his teddy bear, and there was a onesie. So his thing said "Son of a Dun #1," and then on the clothesline it said "Son of a Dun #2" on a onesie for Wrigley because he was the son of a dun, not a son of a gun, son of a dun. So my in-laws, and I don't know why I'm telling this story. Well, I do know because this prompted me. So I don't know if this has anything to do with Sandy's reading or why it's coming through, but it's coming through. Yeah. So my in-laws had 4 boys, and instead of saying "son of a gun," like that was just like a saying back in the day, "son of a gun," the 4 boys each had "son of a dun" #1, #2, #3, #4 shirts. And we kind of recreated that with our boys, but we stopped at 2, obviously. But yeah, there's something to celebrate here. This is a very celebratory, but it's cozy, like a cozy celebration, just a gathering or get together with the people that you love or that feel really close to you, Sandy. That's something coming up for you, or a potential for you anyway. Something that you can potentially plan or attend. If that's already being offered, you can. Maybe you're even deciding, do I go to this event? Do I go to this gathering? Do I go to this family reunion or whatever it is? All right, what else does Sandy need to know? We have, I respect the property of others. And I keep my own counsel. Okay, so this is a very clear message about having proper boundaries between you and other. So this could even be, respecting the property of others. If you're still living in with Ken, maybe you're just seeing the dynamic and just respecting your space, respecting his space, and just, even the shared spaces. There's like a dynamic here of give and take, ebb and flow, but it's about having very clear boundaries or, setting expectations and letting other people know those expectations. This could even be, you are creating, something for someone else, a beautiful jewelry piece you're creating for someone else, and it's going to be their property when you're finished with it. But you're trusting your own judgment on or they're even trusting your judgment on how to create this in a way that's going to best, fit them or serve them, or, just be really beautiful. Like they're almost trusting your judgment, or they are trusting your judgment. And now you need to trust your judgment with how to create something that is going to be for someone else. Very cool message. All right, shamanic medicine card before we move on. What else does Sandy need to know? We have the death card with transmigration. But this is, again, it's about putting to rest this old energy. This has nothing to do with a future death moment right now. This is not what we're talking about. This is putting that rest to that past energy that is cropping up right now for you to either examine or just go into your true spirit to peel it away, be done with it. All right, we also have, 3 cards. Crystals with amplification. So to me, this does feel like, you working with crystals does amplify certain energies for you, usually for the better. We have bells with deflection. So bells can deflect certain energies for you. And then, I love this, Sandy. This is amazing. Birth with renewal. Yeah, I knew this was just a cycle, something from the past, not literal death, but we have the death and birth. I mean, you can't ask for anything better in a reading, because with every ending comes a new beginning. And a lot of times when we are holding on to a lot of wounds, sadness, guilt, even resentment to other people for things they did to us, or guilt for things that we did to other people, we hold on to this, and it kind of does just take up residence in our field, that it can't properly die the death that it needs to then allow for that new energy to come in and fill the space of that old energy that we're now done with, to have this rebirth kind of vibe. We can allow that death energy, the lessons we learned, what we did walk away from this, whatever it is with, we can use that as the fertilizer for the seeds of this new creation. So that could look as simple. We'll just put it in some simple terms here too for you, Sandy. That can look as simple as just decluttering a space, either in your mind, your closet, your studio room where you create your things, or this can be more about like the healing process of clearing really deep, old, even maybe past life stuff. But again, you don't even have to go with your magnifying glass and Inspector Gadget hat into the past to try to figure out, where am I traumatized? What happened to me? No, you can call on your true spirit to take care of the nuance of all of that and just say, I'm ready to let go. And then the spirit, your true spirit, can go in and do the heavy lifting with just the letting go of those things without you having to attach that any mental storyline to why this happened. That person did this, I did this. You don't even have to go down those roads to heal, or as I'm now calling it, peel. Because we're just peeling off what is no longer serving and what is not us to get back to our true spirit form. Of course, while we're incarnated in a human body, we can only get so far to that spirit form. But once we do cross over and transition, then we're in our true spirit form. But though when we're in the matrix, we still have that soul imprint on top of that, which still is not us. That's something we peel away, again, to get to the true spirit part of ourselves. And I would even maintain, this is not something I've ever heard anywhere. Maybe someone said it, but I haven't heard anyone say it, but I'm saying it because I know this to be true, that even when we cross over, we still have our ego. It's still there. It's still part of this matrix construct of quote unquote who we are, but who we truly are is the spirit. And we can peel all this clutter away when we're out of the matrix, whenever and however that looks. All right, Sandy, I hope that resonated for you. Cha-Cha's turn. See, I knew it wouldn't be too long for you, Cha-Cha. So I'm glad you have your question up there. We'll get right into it here in about 2 seconds. All right. And then we have the giveaway right after Cha-Cha's question, unless we did get another donation coming through. All right. So Cha-Cha wants to know, what's the best step for me to take in the month ahead? All right. Tuning into Cha-Cha's true spirit, because that's where we get the best information, is from your true spirit. We don't need any spirit guide middlemen or, me to put my shine or spin on it. No, we're getting directly to the source of what is in your best interest, and that is from your true spirit. So let's tune into Cha-Cha's true spirit. What is the best step for her to take in the month ahead? Ooh, here we go. We have the Justice card. It's about finding some balance. If there is any legal stuff you're dealing with in either, for or against anything, really working on that, whatever that is. But in a more kind of mundane version of this Justice card, it is about a lot of times relationships and finding balance between, all my fun stuff and then relating with other people and their fun stuff. And also just finding balance in life. If you've been working a lot, it's maybe time to step back a little bit and take some time for yourself. If you've been hanging out with a lot of people, again, maybe it's time to step back and spend time with yourself. But if you've been spending a lot of time with yourself, maybe it's time to put yourself out there and make a lunch date with a friend. Again, about the balance, finding the balance there. So the best step would be in the month ahead is to find a little bit more balance in your life. All right, here we go. What else does Cha-Cha need to know? Death, the death card. Dun, dun, dun. So there's maybe something you're cutting out or purging, decluttering, peeling, healing, letting go of. But this is something you're done with for good, because with the Justice here, it's like that swift sword of justice coming in to cut out what's not needed here, what we don't need. And this skull here is full of all sorts of who even knows what. I see some planets. I see, almost looks like a heart, a claw. Yeah, like there's a lot going on up here. So it's like even about just like decluttering your mind. Go, go out in nature or find something that will take your mind off just all the thought spirals. And if you watched our collective reading more toward the beginning of the live stream and just my kind of talk leading us up to our collective, a lot of the thoughts that are spiraling in our head are not us. And I would say probably 95+% of the thoughts that run through our head a day are not us. We are the observer of those thoughts, though. That is us. And we think some of those thoughts sometimes. We do use that tool of our brain to think the thoughts sometimes. But when you're just kind of minding your own business and there's just this thought loop of jumping from one thought to the next, to the next, to the next, and you're like, how did I even get here? Even if it feels like you thought some of those thoughts, that's not a lot of times you. All right, what else does Cha-Cha need to know? So there might be just some coming up, just this need to just maybe stop consuming certain content or, keeping your mind busy chewing the fat with something, and just give your mind something to take a break with, whatever that looks like for you personally. And then we have the Page of Wands. Wow. So there might even be, I don't know if you have any children or younger people in your life that are needing your attention at this time, or someone younger than you. They do feel like they could be related, or they feel like family in some way that could actually help you. If you did have like a physical declutter project and you just need someone's help, maybe just asking this person, hey, do you think you can come by on this day? Or, whatever day works for you, I'll work around your schedule since you're going to help me, if you will, to come help me with this thing. Maybe there's something you need, like I'm hearing like heavy lifting. So I don't know if that's literal or more metaphorical, but like something's just too heavy. You're just needing a little bit of help to lift something, to move something from one location to another. Maybe you're even getting rid of something that's very heavy and you need someone's help to load it into a truck or something. What else does Cha-Cha need to know? The Knight of Wands. Yeah, again, young energy coming in to move something away, to help move something away. Maybe you're having someone help you take a trip to the dump with a bunch of stuff you're just offloading, getting rid of. Again, though, that could be more metaphorical, like taking a dump of the thought dump, the brain dump onto a page, and then being able to burn that page, or just leave it in journal so it's not just rolling around in your head like this energy here. But you're definitely purging something, be it mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, or a combination of, because usually when it rains, it pours with that kind of thing. Let's just see anything else Cha-Cha needs to know. But yeah, if you're looking for something to do, your next steps for, the month ahead, see if there's even just one cupboard or counter space or drawer that you can kind of declutter. And sometimes just decluttering one area, it can just bring this breath of fresh air and help us gain that momentum to declutter, our mind or our emotions, or just the spiritual junk that kind of gets stuck to us in the more etheric realms. whatever resonates for you at this time. If you're doing a bit of spring cleaning, something like that. I honor virtue. Wow. Yeah, this is about really honoring your own authenticity as well. It's kind of a message I'm getting. And really seeing this as like the Four of Swords, which is about taking a break. It's about resting. It's about, the mental rest specifically, because the swords are that mental realm. But we can even read this as the Four of Wands, things going on around the home, around your intimate relationship if you have one, a husband or a boyfriend. And then we have, I care for the earth. So you are part of the earth. Your home is part of the earth. Everything that's here is part of the earth. So when you care for you care for the earth. Yeah. Oh, you have stuff in your storage. Well, maybe this is the time to go through that storage, or if you just don't have the time to go through it, but you kind of want to let go of that storage so you can actually not have to pay, if it is something you're paying monthly on, having to store clutter can become very expensive. So sometimes we can consolidate, or, just decide, okay, maybe now's the time I go through some boxes or some totes or, whatever it is you have stored. Oh, you have your stuff in storage. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so maybe now's the time you're starting to examine some of these things that have been kind of stored away, to bring them back out to the light and even examine, do I even want this where I'm going next, or, in my whatever. Oh, you do or own a storage unit, so you need to get rid of it. So that is that. Oh, gotcha. All we own is gotcha. Yep. There you go. So yeah, so it's like transitory energy. So you're kind of feeling maybe a bit like you want the balance of let's bring this stuff home, wherever home is. I don't know if you recently moved, or you just did a deep declutter. I'm not sure exactly the circumstances to why your stuff's in storage, but not always, but a lot of times that does deal because you're moving, or I guess there's one instance I know where someone had an infestation of rats that they had to move all their stuff out, deal with the infestation, repair, and then move things back in. So that could be one example. Like you're coming back, but like you had to move out for a moment. So let's just see anything else Cha-Cha needs to know. Next steps for the month ahead. Yeah, I would say just deal with what's there to restore that balance in life. Because you're probably feeling really out of balance with all your stuff being in storage. You don't have access to it, or at least not easy access. It's not like you can walk across the room and grab that thing because it's in storage, Yeah, get started. You got the starting point. I love the young energy here with the baby. It's just so cute. So you have energy. You have people willing to help that are younger than you, because we did get 2 cards, a page and a knight. So if it's not 2 people, then it's someone who's looking to not only help you, move things or show up to help move stuff around, but also take things from one location to another, moving it that way as well. So if it's not more than one person, then it's a very spirited and spry younger person that either you're hiring, or that's just you're asking them for help, or they're volunteering their help, whatever that looks like. But there's you don't have to do it alone. Is pretty much what this energy is saying. You can hire someone, you can ask. You don't have to do this alone. Yeah. All right, one more gummy bear card, and then we'll close out. Anything else Cha-Cha needs to know about her next steps this month? Yes. Laying out a spread. You're feeling more welcome, or maybe you're welcoming new energy into your life. But you're feeling more welcome in the places you're going as well this next month. And even welcoming new opportunities or new experiences, trying new things, maybe literally having a picnic in a park that I haven't had a picnic since I was like in my 20s, or, whatever it is. You're just deciding to step outside of the just regular comfort zone and do things. And it's almost like you're welcoming the universe to pretend with you and actually send you new opportunities, because you're just trying new things. But it's about taking action, because we have the 8 here. Yeah, I'm like, wait, that's a 5. No, it's an 8. I thought it was an 8, then I thought it was a 5, now I thought it's an 8. But the 5 is about change. So change is going to take action for you to make changes. The changes you're wanting to make. Yeah, it makes sense. Transition mode. Yeah. And I think that's what this death card is really showing, is just that feeling of massive overwhelm, because everything is kind of not, it's all stacked up. It's not, okay, this is in this drawer, this is in this closet, this is on this end table. No, it's all jumbled together. And that feels very like stress inducing or anxiety evoking. But you started with balance. So it's about maintaining balance this month or getting your life back into balance. So whatever it is that's caused this transition mode, it's like you're realizing this transitory state is going to end very soon because you have the death card. So the current state you're in is shifting. So because you're in kind of transition mode, this to me feels like you're going to be in a much more solid and balanced place by the end of the month. Even if you're not completely solid with where you're going, you're going to at least feel more like closer to that by the end of the month, if that makes sense. So cool, Cha-Cha. I hope that helped. I hope that at least gave you a bit of a game plan or an idea of what's going on for you this month. But yeah, you are going to be the one kind of leading or like at the helm of the ship, you know, like taking charge and, you know, making decisions and being the one to bring that balance back into your life. All right. So let's do our giveaway. We've reached that time. Giveaway time. Okay. We'll just use the same deck. Okay, here we go. So if you're new here or don't remember how this works or you already know how this works, whatever. This is what we do. I'm going to shuffle this tarot deck. And if you know enough about the tarot, you know what cards are in here. I'm going to pull a card right now. Cool. And now your job is to figure out, I almost showed you. What card did I just pull? What tarot card is this? So just spit them out. Use your intuition, guess, whatever it is you want. But here in a moment, if we're just not getting it, I'll narrow it down and let you guys kind of steer you in a direction. So yes. Some dogs barking in the neighborhood. My dogs aren't barking yet. That's good. I don't think I've taken a single sip of water since I've been on this live stream. I better do that. Right. So it's a pentacle card. So ace through king and anything in between. Hey, that kind of rhymed. All right. So it's a pentacle card. It feels very quiet without me talking and jabbering on. It's like a race to the finish with Pika Lee and Brandy Lynn. Oh, there's Banana S joining the race. Ace through king and everything in between. But you guys are narrowing it down. We're getting there. We're chipping away at the pentacle suit to get to the point of which one is this card. Which one is this card? Which one is this card? Ace of Pentacles! Which one is this card? The first one. The Ace of Pentacles. Oh, Pika Lee, you have won today's giveaway. All right. So what do you want to know, my dear? Throw your comment out there or your question out there and we'll get right into it. And just because Cha-Cha was second in line, I'll pull a card for Cha-Cha as well. Anything Cha-Cha needs to know. Because she got it too, just right behind, just a hair's breadth away. So we'll just do kind of like we do with the drawing for you, Cha-Cha. Just see anything you need to know. And we have the death card. Yeah, it's really reiterating the fact that this transitory mode is not, it's not your favorite, and it won't last forever because the definite ending where this is concerned. So you deep breath that this is not going to go on and on and on. As long as you're willing and ready to show up and take action, make the changes, you got it. But let's pull one more just to clarify if there's, because we already did touch on this. Let's see if there's anything else you need to know about this situation or any other. We'll just leave it open to anything you need to know from your true spirit. But you're going to be the one to put an end to this transition mode. Yeah, but there's any number of ways you can do it. This is the options card. And sometimes it can be that there's so many options, we almost get that analysis paralysis and don't know how to move forward or who to move forward with or who's going to help us or, you know, decisions. But we almost have, what is this? Like shattered glass looking stuff, but it almost looked to me like money raining down. But yeah, I always say though, at the heart of this card, it's like a message of hope because where there's options, there's hope. There's hope here. So no matter how you decide to do it, you're going to figure it out and there's help to be had. So if you're just racking your brain, like, I don't know who would actually help me, you're going to find help somehow, some way. All right. So I hope that resonated for you. And everybody who's here, put a 555 in the chat, and we're going to enter you into the drawing while Pika Lee gets her question out for the drawing or the giveaway part. I always mix those two up. Why do I do that? But your question has something to do with this Ace of Pentacles. And it does remind me of like Easter. The bunny with the lilies there. Yeah, I think those are lilies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some sort of lily. The orange ones, you know. My neighbors have those lilies. Okay. So let's get Cha-Cha on the board. The junking. Data. I'm running out of room. Girl. Ooh. Well, let's add this since I did show you that, yes, I put your name on and we have entered your name. And next we have Brandy Lynn. The last N kind of got squirrely there on me. I can still read it though. That's all that matters, so we know who wins each time. All right. Banana Anna S. Boom. Entered. Almost, anyway. There we go. And Pika Lee. Pika Lee. The L really went sideways on me there. Boom. All right. Anyone else? We're going to do, so when you win the card shuffle part, when you're the official winner, I will let you ask the question you want the answer to. And when it's either a drawing or, oh, so close, but not quite, I usually will pull a few cards, just kind of what you need to know in general. So yeah, that's how we do that. But I will, since we've got everybody entered, quickly draw our drawing winner, and then we'll do Pika Lee's question. Yeah, here we go. Drawing winner is, ooh, I had it, but okay. This is not from today's orange pen though. Brandy Lynn, because the N is not squirrely and is a lot lighter of an orange. It's my more peachy orange than this brighter orange. Brandy Lynn, you have won. You have won today's giveaway. So we will pull some cards for Brandy Lynn after Pika Lee's reading. So it's a good thing you remembered today because you won the giveaway. That's always fun. All right, so Pika Lee wants to know any insight into what's in store for me this month. Yes, let's tune in. April. Per Pika Lee's inner self / spirit, we have I spread joy. So you're going to be really happy. Really, like literally glowing. She's literally glowing here. And it almost looks like she's glowing in this card. Like, it looks like the card literally has a light on it. It's so glowy. So pretty. But yeah, you're really spreading happiness and joy. And there's going to be a lot to be happy about. So we'll tune in. Let's see what it is you're happy about. Might be a new opportunity coming your way because we do have a new beginning here with this Ace of Pentacles, which was your indication to win the reading. So let's see. Let's elaborate more on this for the month ahead for Pika Lee in alignment with her true spirit. Ooh. Yes, look at this. The Fool and the Ace of Pentacles, both new beginning energies. And they're very joyful. This is a very youthful, very Fool kind of energy here as well. Then we have the Six of Pentacles. So there's balance coming in, give and take, all the fun things. And Nine of Pentacles, your hard work paying off. Something you've put a lot of work and mastery into is going to balance out. Where especially if you felt like, well, I've done all this work here, but like nothing's really come of it. Well, now that kind of karmic, pendulum, as we say, is going to come swinging back in your direction to where that time and money and blood, sweat, and tears you've invested into something is going to pay off. And this could even be something from the past because the Six of Pentacles, I know, is not the Six of Cups, but when I first looked at it, I saw the six without reading Pentacles. I got a Six of Cups vibe from this little mouse here and the bird kind of having their interplay here. Whatever it is they're doing. Oh, there's a bird with some leaves, with a bird with some, yeah, it's like working together. It's a very also 3 of Pentacles energy, but the 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups being something from the past coming full circle. But that's the thing, during Mercury retrograde, you can hear from people from your past a lot because it's like they're thinking of you, maybe you're thinking of them. Someone from your past swooping on in. Could be someone you haven't heard from in a long time, or maybe you run into them at the grocery store, something like this. But something from your past, or someone you see at the grocery store reminds you of someone from your past. You know, all little examples here. But let's just see anything else about this opportunity specifically. What is this opportunity coming for Pika Lee, and what does this mean for her? What is this opportunity? But yeah, whatever's going on, you're going to be happy about it. So if this is someone coming in from your past, it's not that, you know, ex or person that you're like, ew, no. This is someone you're excited to hear from. And then naturally, yeah, like working with the natural rhythms and kind of systems, like the collaboration of nature. It's really what I'm getting from this card as well. And we have Leo here, so I don't know if he's involved at all. I don't know if you're hearing from him or something this month. I know you heard from him recently enough, but yeah, you're just allowing your life to really unfold naturally. Like that's really a new beginning with the 10. So like you've got 3 cards of new beginning, new opportunity. And if we want to count this almost as a full card, that's 4. That's 4 cards. Hi, Amber A and Amber 9N. You both came out in right at the same time, pretty much. Love it. And then I benefit with gratitude. And look, she's just flowers. Just, I don't know if you're buying yourself flowers. I'm hearing that Miley Cyrus song, I can buy myself flowers. So it's almost like you are just embracing being single, buying yourself flowers, just embracing the joy that you are, the joy that you have, the joy that other people bring you. And just really, maybe you're even making some appointments or dates to hang out with friends or family, just to gather and get together. Maybe you're having like a family game night with some girlfriends or family, just to connect and have some fun and laugh. Yeah. I was thinking of buying some currently. I have some yellow roses. Oh, that sounds so fun. I keep forgetting to send money to school with Wrigley because they're doing the daffodil thing again this year. And I had the fresh daffodils in here. And that's the last time I bought fresh flowers for the house that weren't like outside flowers. So I hope I don't miss the boat on that. I want to say they probably are going out already because they did it around Easter time last year and Easter's over now. Darn it. I probably missed the boat. I always miss the boat. Not last year, but this year. Anyway. Yeah, buy yourself flowers. If you're at the store or wherever and you feel that pull or, oh man, those smell so good or those are so pretty, get them for yourself. Yeah, you deserve to stop and smell the roses. All right. Brandy Lynn, you are last on the current lineup anyway. And we're going to go into the Herb Crafters Tarot. I don't know why I was pulled there, so I'm just going to follow that guidance and go in anything Brandy Lynn needs to know. She won the drawing today, so we're going to go in and see what she needs to know in alignment with her true spirit. And we have the Empress card, Mother Creator herself. Wow. And we got the honeycomb. I love that. So there's something really rich that you are creating. And this is I take what I already have to make something really amazing. So this could even literally be, just kind of looking through your pantry without having to go to the grocery store and just kind of putting things together. And hey, weren't we talking in your reading about, a dash of this, a pinch of that? So this, again, the theme is carrying through into your drawing wins. So funny how that is. But yeah, there's just this very pregnant with possibility energy that I'm getting with this. But it's like you already have all the ingredients, all the tools, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the ... that you need to carry out and manifest whatever it is you are creating. Anything else Brandy Lynn needs to know? Anything else at all? Ooh, and the Moon card. So the mother energy, the mother, maiden, and crone. And you see a lot of times the full moon and then the crescent moons kind of going like this when you see the representation of mother, maiden, and crone. But something that I saw was Olawoni, was like the moon stealing the energy of Venus with the phases. And we even have the different phases of the blooming and blossoming here. And a bit here as well. If you see this, this is like more like the rose hip, and this is like the little buds. So it's like different stages and forms of the same thing. But the divine feminine energy of the Empress, and then of course original Venus, but the moon kind of has taken over that aspect. So maybe there is this reclamation you're doing with your divine feminine. My moon candle. That's kind of what I'm doing, is breaking any, and I've already broken some soul contracts or any ties that I personally have to the moon. And I should probably just, for any planet that I can, take my control or power back over, that would be great. But it's about setting intention. I can't wait to burn this. I just want to see how it works, how this little pillar candle works. Is it gonna dribble this way or that way? I use like different mica powders to kind of color it. So it's like blues, purples, dark gray, light blue. I wanted it subtle though, because I didn't want you to have to pick up a candle, whoever buys a candle, and have that mica powder all over your fingers and whatnot. And it didn't. Maybe very, very little bit of sparkly, but not too bad. Hi, Brianna. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Just everybody talking like about removing your chakras and breaking any contracts to the moon. And I'm like, well, why stop at the moon? Why not Saturn and Jupiter and even Venus? Like, I don't want any planet controlling what I do. If I had any say in that, like, I'd rather have my free will to pick and choose what I want and use the energies that I deem fit in any now moment that I deem fit. Plain and simple. Yeah, that's my thought. But, who needs, if we are a limitless being from the original source creator, what do we need anyone to be an authority or a controller of our energy? We don't. And we know that on an intuitive level, but like, here we are with governments and authorities and police and, and I get it. These things are needed in this realm because people can get out of control real fast. If all the police disappeared and the government disappeared overnight, mass pandemonium and chaos. So yes, at this moment, we do need these systems, but not in the way that they are set up currently. There are ways we could nuance and tweak these systems to actually work for the people and not for just the systems themselves. That would be much more beneficial. It's just about knowing the right type of system to implement, or the right kind of, what do they call it? When you go from one system to another, or one part of a project to another. I know there's a word that I can't quite find in my logarithm up here. In my lexicon. Kind of like a transition plan. That's not quite what I was trying to find. I know there's a word, but I don't even know what it starts with. I'll probably find it in like 10 minutes when the live stream's over and like, oh, that's the word. Although, if you go back to the beginning of this live stream, like full-on thoughts were being swiped right out from under me in my head. Major psychic attack with that going on with not just me, but a lot of people. Like, I was even on the phone with my mom the other day, and she's just like, wait a second. I was going to say something. I don't remember what it was. And I know that can naturally happen, so it's not like every time that happens, you're under massive psychic attack. But, like, feel into it. Feel into your womb space, that more intuitive part of yourself that's not up in your head. And see, is this a psychic attack or did I just forget? Because it could be either. I was planning to work on breaking contracts with banks, false light beings, immigration services. Right. Planets is now on my list as well. Yeah. Same with me. Same for me. Chakras, governments, even my like marriage contract. Like, that's a contract with the government. Like, and I've even felt into the energy of like a marriage contract that it will last beyond this lifetime. It's not even till death do us part in the contract. It's that energy is still there. And it's just weird. It's weird. Yeah, break all the contracts. Because here's the deal. You can always create a new contract if that case may be. Like, you can always create a new one if you really feel like you need it. Or you can just flow with life, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that is what is said in Hindu religion, that it's valid for 7 lives. Yeah, see? See? There's something to that. And think of it, even if things went exactly according to the Hindu religion, that it did last for 7 lives, but in, say, the next life, you're now married to someone who was your, like, 4th cousin in the last life, but you're still in that spiritual marriage contract with your last husband, who's now your son or a daughter. There's a weird interplay of energy between you and that son or daughter in this life that doesn't need to be there from last life or 6 lives ago. You know, it could get real convoluted, muddy, and almost incestual if you think about, or incestuous is, I don't know which word is correct there. If you think about it, you know, like, ew, break those contracts and have a new fresh slate. That's gonna be the case. Yeah. Oh, your husband was your son in your last life. Right, right. So things can feel weird, you know, when you're doing certain things with certain people, like certain connections can feel really off or weird because you might sense those past life connections and contracts that are still very much in operation. Yeah, it gets real gross real fast if you start thinking about reincarnation and soul contracts, and this guy used to be my dad, now he's my husband, or my child, now he's my husband, or like, let's just break all the contracts and take our power back and just be sovereign beings having experiences that we choose to have, not ones we're forced into, if we were, you know. Ew, 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 ew. Let's not let the fine print keep us enslaved. That's what I'm hearing coming through. Like, that fine print in all these contracts is what keeps us in these contracts. It's like, let's break free of all the programming and the enslavement and the contracts, and just live as free beings that can love as long as we want to until we don't want to anymore, and then we can move on to something else, right? Yeah. Oh, you're so welcome, Amber. I'm glad that helped. Yeah. Oh, it was successful. Good, 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 good. Yeah. I got chills now. So something really did shake up energetically. And even if you still feel the residual effects from it, because obviously certain people are probably still in your home, once they leave, I'm seeing like this vacuum, like slurped it up and it's gone. Like, do you hear that quiet? Do you feel that peace? Oh my gosh. Life can be good now. Like, that's the feeling I'm getting right now coming through for your very, very near future within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Gonna feel a lot lighter. So that's good. Oh, she's texting me some pictures. Are these for me to share? Okay. Oh, you've shared pictures of the event. Okay. Oh, very cool. Look, you got a whole setup. That's so cool. Let's see. We go this way. Aw. Very cool. I don't know if you want everybody to see them, but there they are. Aw. Let me know. I don't know if you want everybody to see everything, so I'll swipe through them, but you did not say, hey, show them to everybody. Aw, what a beautiful home. Oh, very cool. Okay, yes, for you. Okay, sorry I did flash that up there. So you guys did get a quick glimpse of something, but protective energy around your photos. Aw, beautiful. Well, thanks for sharing. All right, you guys. Well, that's gonna be it for me because we're at the end of the line, and I am kind of hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. But yes, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. And reminder, I will not be here Friday just because my mom will be in town, and we've got all sorts of activities and things planned and going on, and even during the day. She's coming in Thursday during the day, so probably Friday during the day we're gonna go do some mom and daughter fun stuff out and about. So yeah. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure, and I always have way more fun probably than you guys do. But thanks for joining me, and yeah, we'll be here next Wednesday, same time. We're now on the Wednesday daytime schedule. So it's not like daylight savings time. It's Woo Wednesday sports ball savings time. We're just like, woo, brought in earlier in the day. So we can still meet on Wednesday. It's just going to be much earlier. And even still, those of you that do prefer that evening schedule and you just cannot make the daytime schedule for whatever reason, you can always send your donation and explain, I would like, this reading for, Woo Wednesday during the day or whatever. And I can always accommodate that, especially you guys who are my kind of regulars here. I can always accommodate that and timestamp. Like I have no problem. Oh, we got a donation coming in. So stand by. We're not leaving yet. Brianna! All right. So just FYI, if you ever have to miss or the schedule just doesn't allow, but you have a burning question or, whatever, I can always accommodate that. No, Brianna, you're fine. You're fine. No, thank you. Let's get into it for Brianna. She wants to know what natural elements and ingredients do my ancestors want me to utilize in my manifestation magic. Okay. So here's something I was talking about earlier, actually, with ancestors. And this is great. So the wisdom of your ancestors is in your DNA. You are that amalgamation of your ancestors who have passed on. You are it. They are you. You are it. You are part of that. They are part of you. So you can ask your inner self what that is, or just use your own intuition what that is, and that will be your answer. But let's just see if we can get any guidance from Brianna's true spirit coming through. Yes, I'll be, it might be just a bit shorter than we normally do, Brandy Lynn, but I'll definitely be there at my 8:30 time, for sure. So yeah, I'll be there at the start, and maybe we'll do one long and one medium to short-ish, and then I'll kind of get everything cleaned up and ready for my mom to get here. Because I definitely have some laundry to fold and mop the floor yesterday, so we're good there, but like, little things. All right, so we have 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands. So something is moving forward very quickly. And I almost do see this as like ancestral looking stuff for you, Brianna. Like there's so much ancestral wisdom here in this 8 of Wands. And that is a card of purpose, of direction, of guidance in a direction. So yeah, you can feel it. I guess I just want confirmation. I'm already feeling some things. Yeah. You take that guidance you already feel and move swiftly. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for any specific moon alignment or time frame. Do it when you're intuitively guided and with what you're intuitively guided to do it with. In your manifestation magic. I actually, while we are here, I have the Herb Crafter's Tarot. So let's just see specifically, let's ask which herbs are going to really work in alignment with your ancestry and your true spirit for your manifestation magic. Yeah, alchemical energy. Wow. So we have the kitchen garden. So if you have any kitchen herbs that are already growing for yourself, use them. These can be your basil, your parsley, your something else, rosemary, just any little thing you've already got going in like a kitchen window or have kind of planned to do. Plan to do. You've planted 8 seeds, so you have a plan for some herbs. So those are, you already intuitively went in a direction, and trust that guidance that those 8 seeds or however many of those seeds come to fruition as plants, those herbs are, whichever ones make it, are absolutely beneficial to use in whatever way you're intuitively guided. We also have St. John's wort, which is something you could probably order if you don't have, or it could maybe grow, depending, check your grow zones and all that fun stuff. But St. John's wort could be really beneficial. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think people use that to help with like depression. That's something coming through. I don't even know if that's true, but that's what I'm getting. I don't have much personal experience with St. John's wort, so I can't, personally direct you, but, intuitively and with the cards, I can definitely. Yarrow, this does grow in my area. And of all the cards in this deck, to me, this looks like a snapshot or a picture rather than a painting. They're all paintings, but this one to me looks so, but Ace of Air is you're getting clarity. You're getting clarity. And the sun, we need the sun literally to grow plants. So, check that your plants that you've already planted, that you're giving them the proper type of sunlight, or if they need more shade, make sure you're taking how much sun exposure that each of those plants needs into consideration. Okay, if you already grow yarrow in your, yarrow in my hand, you already got it. So you already know, and there's your, aces are confirmation and yeses. So you already know yarrow is going to be a big working in your manifestation magic. Absolutely. All right, let's get one more just to round it out. Anything else Brianna needs to know in connection with her true spirit and ancestors for her to utilize in manifestation magic? What herbs? We have catnip, which is the Hiha of air, which is the page of air, Page of Swords. So yeah, it's like you're getting that Ace of Swords and you're taking the next step. So that you're like just at the beginning. This to me feels like the beginning of something that you're gonna start to really come into your own. I'm seeing like years worth of work and actual manifestation and manipulation and study with different herbs, and you're going to become like a master. Even if you can't just sit here and spout off what each herb does, that's not how you're mastering this. Yeah, herbalism, there you go. It's like you're just knowing intuitively without knowing how you know that you know, but you do know. And maybe you can't articulate to other people why you know what you know, but you just know it. And that does come from your own ancestry and your own just DNA. It's in your DNA from your ancestors to know which certain things you gravitate toward and which ones you don't really care to even work with. And maybe even for certain things you're feeling like, oh, I really love mint when I work with this, but when I work with this, mint needs to be nowhere near it. Using your intuition and just kind of trial and error with things. That's what I've done. That's what I've done with my candles. I had no idea specifically with the scent. Like, I'm just intuitive with scents. Like, I love a good scent, but I don't like those really strong, overpowering scents that just knock your socks off. I want something that's there. Obviously, you want to be able to smell it. But like even just the different herbs and like I have my mint from my garden here in this money candle I've made. These ones I did have to order. Anise or anise, however you say the star anise. But even just like crystals and stuff, I'm just intuitively guided. And then it's so funny because oak moss and also amber are both, known to be, and I didn't know this because I wasn't like sitting there Googling it. I was just intuitively guided for the scent for this oak moss and amber. I'm like, okay, of the scents, and I'm just closing my eyes and smelling all the different sample sizes that I have of my scents. And I'm like, this is it. And then I look up later, it's like 2 weeks later after I made them, oak moss, and the properties and whatever, all about prosperity, abundance. Look up amber, prosperity, abundance. I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. The last message you sent about denouncing the moon is all about denouncing maternal wounds from our wombs. There you go. Yeah. There's a lot of that. And there's even if you look at, you just pick up a pack of maxi pads or tampons on the shelf at the store, or have them tested, better yet. They're full of toxins and chemicals. And even just all these just different forms of birth control that, I've never personally used any kind of like hormonal kinds of birth control. I use just my own internal knowledge to know when and when not to be prepared for certain things to happen or not happen. I've just always been someone who didn't want all the side effects of what a lot of those like contraceptions bring. And I was actually conceived. My mom conceived me when she was on birth control pills. So and it's even in my human design, with my sacral, all that activation of those 4 gates in my spleen center, 4 of the 6 are pronounced. And looking back at my one-on-one with Victoria, she said that pharmaceutical drugs just won't work for me, or they won't have as much of an effect, or they could even be really detrimental to me, that I, as a person, just kind of avoid those and go more the herbal or holistic route. And she was absolutely right, because I've always wanted to take my personal health into my own hands, not take a pill and feel better, or, do this or do that. I'm constantly checking in with my body. What are you trying to tell me? What do I need? What do I need to avoid? I've done that since I was a child. So yeah, it's about really taking back control of your own womb space. These are our wombs, not the moon's, not our mother's, not that person's, These are our wombs, right? It really is about, getting back in connection with that womb space as well. Yeah. The same way with birth control, and my mom was conceived me with, with her tubes tied. Yeah. So you and I were meant to be here, I guess, even though our parents were maybe not quite ready for us at the point. But here we are. She said I was the best surprise she ever got. Yep. All right. So hopefully that helped you. But yeah, you're already well on your way to just trust yourself. And not so much trusting and analyzing and pulling apart up here, but getting down into that womb space and really trusting that inner authority and inner knowing. Yeah, absolutely. Yuppers. Oh, Amber has also made a donation. Let's check it out. All right. So more in-depth reading and details about the ritual I did. I opened a portal to the true, authentic, organic creator. I also invoked the true, organic, divine flame under my whole property and land as well. I set intention for cleansing and healing, and I saw an energy shaped as Isis come out and sit on a gold throne. I had not invoked that energy. Also, the Indian goddesses present as they were being invoked by the priest. Guidance from true, authentic, organic creator about what happened and what effects will it bring in our home, life, and future. Okay, so what I'm hearing from your question is there's kind of two rituals that basically took place kind of overlapping each other. What your intentions were, and then also the priest's intentions. And I would even say a third, which were just the intentions of everybody else who were there. So let's kind of pull a card on what you have, done and invoked and created, the priest, and then also kind of a collection of everyone else, what they have created here. And let's see what comes through. All right, so we'll start with your intention. Because I'm hearing whatever it was you did, Amber, was actually the strongest of all. Combined with everyone else that was there, your power and your intention far and away blew the doors off of everything else that was going on that day. So even if some evil or bad stuff was invoked that day, whatever you did took care of it. I'm already hearing that. But we'll still pull cards just to see what we need to know about it. If there was anything brought through that shouldn't have been. Okay, so for Amber, yeah, Ace of Water, Ace of Cups. You started a new chain reaction of knowing what's best for your home and having a clear space that you can feel emotionally safe and secure in. And aces are big yeses. It worked. Whatever it was you did and the feelings you felt and the intuitions you had, trust them. You knew what was up. And then, yeah, Queen of Swords. Sorry, I gotta itch my eye. Yeah, so maybe there was even something like blocking your view or you didn't quite know the effect of something you did. But just know that you took care of business. You were in charge here. Even if no one else knew it, you knew it. At least on a deep level, you knew it. But now just feeling into the energy or just kind of replaying back what happened that day, maybe now you can see, even if you didn't at the time, now you can see, yeah, I really was in charge. Even if I was standing back and just quiet and doing my own thing, I was in charge here. I'm the new sheriff in town. All right, now let's pull a card on, I won't even say the priest's intentions. I'll just say what came through with whatever the priest invoked with the Hindu gods and Indian god and goddesses present. What came through from whatever the priest invoked? Okay, so we have Adelita of Fire, Queen of Fire. I see you actually had a lot of beneficial spiritual energy. So even if, oh my goodness, that is weird. I've never heard that ever. I just heard the gods have gone offline. I have chills. What the heck is going on? What's going on? I heard the gods have gone offline. Now I have chills down my left side. That's the feminine side. Although I would argue that it's technically the masculine side because they've inverted everything. But, the current blueprint, it's the feminine side. But I just saw DNA unravel and then like more DNA come in and twist and furl. I got chills that major now. Wow, Amber, when you ask questions, so much comes through for not just you, but everybody. I love that. Wow. Let's just say wow. The gods have gone offline. Because the gods, if you look at all the ancient texts and mythologies, these gods were the ones who created this matrix. The God of the Bible, if you actually just replace the word God in the Bible with a God, that's probably a more accurate depiction of what was going on. And the gods, the archons, the aliens, the whatever we want to call them, came in and invaded what we already had going on here. And the whole Adam and Eve thing, messing with the DNA, with the whole taking a rib from Adam with Eve, and they, quote unquote, dumbed us down. Yeah, dragons. Actually, you're on point, Pika-Lee, because if you look in the Bible, they talk about the seraphim or the seraphim. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that. I've heard it pronounced both ways. Well, seraph means flying serpent. Well, they call these the seraphim or seraphim are the angels. Flying serpents, dragons, angels, all the same type of thing. And if you look at a lot of like the reliefs in the walls, ancient Egypt, it's like a bird-like reptilian being holding a light. I can't remember what that one's called, but you can have proof of these flying dragons and even birds with wings, and yeah, these are what's going on in these ancient texts. A lot of the truth is there. I mean, we can take it literal, metaphorical, however we need to take it, but they've hidden the truth here. But I heard the gods have gone offline. So, because this is Miss Sovereignty herself coming through, as I call my amazing Queen of Wands card in all the tarot decks I have, Miss Sovereignty herself. It's almost like we have some sort of benevolent force. I'm not going to call them angels or spirit guides or any. I'm just going to call them a benevolent force that has somehow tripped a system where these gods had power and now maybe they don't, or whatever power is being routed, by unsuspecting good praying people out there. I mean, just look at the word pray. Yes, it's spelled differently, but it sounds exactly like what someone is to a predator. We pray. You're praying. Well, they're preying upon your prayers. Where do those prayers go? When you're, even if you don't know what God you're talking to, you just know that I do believe in God or a creative force out there. If you don't know exactly what you're doing, which do any of us, I would argue maybe we don't, because we're so dumbed down and confused here by design that, we don't have it figured out. No one here has it figured out that I've ever met. And I'm not saying I have it all figured out. I just know what isn't. I don't know the ultimate truth, but I know what isn't truth. Or at least I can feel, to a point. Yeah, the whole system is food. They feed off our energy. We feed off, these animals, and this animal feeds off this. It's a slaughterhouse. We live in a slaughterhouse. All of us, the plants, the animals, the trees, the people, the other entities and beings. It's a slaughterhouse. It's a food system. You're so right on that. Yeah, no, go ahead, Marlene. We're still here. We're having a good time. I do have to go in about 15 minutes, though. So we'll put it that way. So whatever the priest invoked, whether these were at one point demonic beings and demonic is a term just kind of loosely thrown around, just synonymous with evil. I don't know if they literally are demons or jinn or something other. But the true gods, the true fractals of God are us. These, and these gods, at one point, many of them did have a spirit. And I would argue still do, but they just have gone so far off the path, they don't remember who they are. Or they have gone so far off the path, they don't have access to their creative light the way we do. So they need us, and they've created this whole thing. And I would even argue, this is all coming through right now, I would even argue, I got chills, that us doing the work to free ourselves will also free them and liberate them from their own disastrous creation here. Well, creation upon the backs of our creation. Wow. So much wow. Yeah, balance and connection, true spiritual connection. Not these, let me, parasite off of your creative energy and make you my food source. But, the Two of Cups to me is a very balanced relationship. When it's in its purity, it's balanced and everybody's the same on the same level. And there's no better than or God or, you need to worship me or else. It's all balanced. And that's whatever came through for your house cleansing was balanced. Yeah, freedom of their true meanings. Oh wait, 2 hour. It was a 2 hour ritual, and all the time I was chanting to the true, organic, authentic source the whole time, asking and pouring down its energy into my home, me, my family, and cleanse all BS stuff. So I don't know if the gods have gone offline for all of us. Maybe we can pull a card on that just to see, because curiosity's got me. But at the very least, whatever it was you did, Amber, made the gods that he was trying to invoke, if that's what he was doing, had to go offline because you claimed the power seat here in this ritual. So, yeah, asking, pouring down its energy into my home, me, my family, cleansing all BS stuff. Yeah, and today was another ritual at my home. I invoked the true, authentic, divine, feminine energy part of the true or authentic spirit creator. I love that. Yeah, freedom of their true meaning versus corrupted meaning. Right. Yeah, because they have had to put enough truth out there that we get the truth, but it's so convoluted because of the lies that so many that are even super highly intuitive are confused. Yeah. All right, let's just see any intentions, anyone else that was there invoked, just the collection or amalgamation of all of their energies. We have the strength card. So to me, this does feel like nothing bad happened. Let's put it that way. Nothing bad happened. But let's put all these back in the deck. The gods have gone offline. Let's see if that's just for this ritual or the fact that they've been offline. Remember, I got chills. Remember, we have to ask the right questions. So I want to make sure. Okay, so have the gods gone offline in this whole matrix? Let's just ask that and just see what we get. And then we're going to get into Marlene's question. Have the gods gone offline in this whole matrix? Wow. We have the strength card. That came out for the other people that were there's intention. Because strength card, it's about that inner self, as I like to call it, or, true spirit coming in to tame the lion, tame the ego. Let's get a clarifier on this. Have the gods gone offline in the entire matrix? This one flipped. The Emperor. It's like the seat of power has been shifted. So if they are still online, it's like it's in a different way. Let's just see if our true spirits that are here right now have more power than we had whenever. Like, I don't know when this changed. Again, I don't know if I'm even asking the right question. That's why some of these types of like deep readings like this can be difficult to get pure answers because we need to ask the right questions, All right. Wow, the Hermit. And that is our spiritual connection, right? That is that light within. Yeah, there's been a major balance of power shift. Not to say they're completely powerless, but yeah, okay, now I'm getting it. I was feeling into it. I'm getting it now. It's not so much that they still have the power, it's that on a subconscious level, that machine is still running, that, going back to through our DNA and our ancestry, that to the point where we know they are now in power and we feel like we're powerless to stop it. So it's almost like the power has been shut off as far as the matrix, but we're the ones keeping it going because we think it's still going. Or at least enough people out there are keeping it going because they have no idea. Or they're just going status quo. They think things are still the way they were. Even if they have no idea the matrix exists, they're still playing into the systems in the way they once did to keep it going. So it's technically no longer viable, but only viable because we're keeping it going as in the human collective. Wow. Okay, so as far as the questions I asked, I don't know if we asked the right questions to get the right answers, but that's that, I guess. Wow. Chills again. Yeah, the beginning, I was thinking the same, right? Yeah, the eclipse will mark the change. And I've been feeling that because I've been in this weird existential crisis of I need to stop paying attention to the moon. But now more than ever, every time I go outside, the moon is there. The moon is there in the day, in the night. When I'm taking my dogs out at 3 a.m., there it is. And I can't not look at it. But when I look at it, I'm like, you don't have any power over me. I'm in control here. That's because I kept saying you don't have any power over me. And then I'm like, let me rephrase that. I'm in control here. Not of this whole place, but of me, of my energy, of my light, of my womb space. I'm in control here. You're beautiful and hypnotizing and what have you, but I'm in control here. Oh, you're in the ad. Oh no. I kind of hate that. I had them turned off. I just put it to tick where I put low and I put let YouTube moderate it. Otherwise, it'll keep popping up, popping up, popping up. I don't know what broke in the system that has to do that now, and I hate that. I want ads off, but I can't turn them off, and I don't know why. I used to be able to. Let's see. Oh, and we have here the hanged one, but it came out in reverse. So it's like whatever was keeping us stuck or stagnant or feeling in this kind of caught in a web kind of energy has been turned on its head. I guess we're doing this thing. I guess we're going to read into the energy of this eclipse. I'm going to pull up Marlene's question, though, just so we have it. Okay. No, actually, Marlene, go ahead and post your question. We'll kind of read into this while we wait. Yeah, the magician. Yeah, it's like smoke and mirrors, sleight of hand. The Matrix is like, you know, is it real magic or is this just the illusion of magic? And where before we didn't have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, now we're seeing things in a completely different way. And we can start to live and act as if we have our power back, because in so many ways we do. We're just so used to lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of being stuck in this matrix. Even if we didn't have the vocabulary to know it, we could feel it. We could feel dumbed down and suppressed and sequestered and almost like we're in this weird quarantine in the universe, you know? Wow. I have major chills, but let's just see anything else we need to know about the turning point that this eclipse is as far as our highest good and getting our power back. I want Miss Sovereignty herself to come back out. Wouldn't that be just something? 10 of Earth, 10 of Pentacles, you guys. This is about new generations moving forward in a better way. I just unlocked something I was trying to say earlier and completely went off my radar. Remember that? It was, oh God, it's gone again. Okay, we're under attack, but it came back. It came back for just a second, but then it left. Okay, usually when something leaves and then it comes back, it's back. But then it left again. Oh God, I was onto it. Oh, I got it again. It's about, they're trying, like, I've never had this happen that, like, in such a conscious way that I was aware of before. It's about, oh God, it's gone again. Why is this happening, you guys? I feel so weird. It's there, but then it's gone. It's there, it's gone. Okay, let me clear. Okay. I got it. Part of it. Okay, get down. I'm trying to think. I need to get down in the womb area. Oh my gosh. It was right there. It was right there. And I was trying to say it and then it got wiped away. Okay, guys, this does not normally it'll happen and it'll come back, but like today's on a next level thing. Oh, yes, I got it. We are not here to make this a world a better place. We are here to leave. Energetically speaking, we are here to gather everything that's us, that was somehow taken from us or left here in past incarnations. This is the lifetime we're back here. We're not here to, we are the ones we've been waiting for, yes, but it's not to improve the system as it is and to ascend to 5D matrix. No, we're here to shut it all down. We're here to close it down. There's no improving this realm. It is built upon slaughterhouse. We're not here to fix it. We're here to be, the ghost in the machine and to get it all to dismantle. That's why we're here. And that's the thought I tried to pull forward before and during the collective reading that kept getting stolen from me. So I know I'm on to something when that happens, because when I tried to clear that X with the delete in that, contract video, my computer was at 87% and it drained to nothing. The second I was trying to hover over the button to go through the shamanic journey on the video to clear it. And so I had to kind of wait a little later in the day, and then I revisited it. But when I plugged my laptop in, it jumped up to 32%. So the only way out is through. That's what I'm hearing. And I think it's each of us. And again, there's that word think. And it's not that I'm thinking it. I'm feeling it. I know it. But just the word think is kind of like that placeholder that we put when we have these thoughts or big epiphanies. But it's not coming from here. It's coming from down in the womb. It's about connecting to the void, not going to any lights. And again, take what resonates. Do what you do when you exit this place, when you transition. But it's not about trusting that spirit guide or grandma's coming down this tunnel of light, or they use our love against us in this realm. We think our dog that passed away is running toward us down this tunnel of light. That's not your dog. That's not your grandma. That's not your mom. Your mom would not want to trap you and trick you back into here if she had any choice about it, or your dog or your grandma or whoever else. They would want you to move on out of this prison, if we want to call it that. So, and to me, when I left my life in my past life regression, when I left my life when I was on Sirius, I didn't go to no light, no spirit guides arrived. I just intuitively knew what to do. And I just dissipated down. Like my physical, it's like I rose out of the physical body. I got strangled by the guy who's my dad in this life, by the way. My spirit rose up just slightly out of the body and then burrowed down and left the realm. There was no light. There was no guides, none of that. I just intuitively, my spirit knew what to do at the end of that incarnation, and it went there. So, but here's something that I've gained just some, I guess, intuition on is when you pass over or transition, you're not going to know any more about the matrix or spirituality or the workings of creation than you know right now at the time of death, transition. You're not going to know anymore. You're not going to just be completely enlightened and your spirit's in control. Because in the matrix, you still have your ego and you still have your soul. Your soul is that, again, kind of personality coat put over your spirit to keep the score, the Akashic records, lifetime after lifetime. Your soul is not your spirit. Your soul is not who you are. It's the role you're playing, right? Yeah. So your ego is also still there, which will serve you. Your ego will serve you when you're having to deal with all these false light entities pretending to be Jesus or Buddha or, Shiva or whoever, your grandma, your grandpa, your dog. You're going to need that ego to lay down the law and say, no, I'm doing it my way and I'm going my way. Because you can watch all these past life or near-death experiences where people are guilted and told they have to go back. No, you have to go back, even though they don't want to go back. And every single one of them want to stay because this world, at least the next level of the matrix is much better than the one we're in down here or in this realm, down, up, down, sideways, whatever. But people don't want to leave that realm because it's so much better, so much more loving, and just they can breathe. They don't have all these worries and struggles. But then they're all guilted or forced somehow or told in some way that this person needs you, that you need to fill this contract. Well, what if you either A, completely went the other direction of whoever's waiting for you, or B, said no. If I have to do that, I'm going to consult with my true spirit, which is me, and I say no. I'm going back to where I came from, which is not this place. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, so Marlene, is that your question? Is that your question? How do we leave the matrix? I was wondering if you were just typing it as a question to what we were talking about, or is that the question for your donation? Let me know. But I can pull cards if that is your question. We'll get into it specifically for you because I don't think there's only one way out. That's the thing. It's got to be, Yeah, 2 step left, step to the right. There you go. A little higher on the chat. Oh, okay. See, I must have missed it. There we go. Oh, there we go. I wanted to ask my true authentic guides if it's a good idea to focus on the sacred secretion of my body or not. Pineal gland. Okay. All right. Asking Marlene's true spirit, is it a good idea to focus on the sacred secretion of my body or not? And the pineal gland. We have the mother of earth. So it's you already know intuitively. Feel into your body because the pentacles are the physical body, the material world. Feel into your body. If that feels right in your body, that's right for you. But there's other sacred secretions in the body besides just the pineal gland, I'm hearing. So let's just see. The Fool and the Justice card. Wow. So 2 major arcana energies here. And with the Justice card, we have the cannabis here. And isn't there something, I think it's in the brain, like cannabis receptors in the brain? I think I've heard that somewhere before. Or people are like arguing that, cannabis is made for us because of something about the brain. But something I'm intuitively getting right now is that was an implanted system. That the cannabis, may it be medicinal, like, all sorts of other things, like even broccoli. Broccoli is not an original earth blueprint vegetable. I'm hearing the same with cannabis. So whenever it is they dumb down our DNA, those receptors were put as implants. So again, I have no idea. I've never smoked weed a day in my life. I had a lot of friends in high school and right after that were big potheads, and they'd always offer it to me, and I'm like, nah. I just didn't resonate with it at all. Not to say those of you that do that you're doing anything wrong or that you have to change. No. We're all on our own path. We all have different things we're focused on. So if cannabis is your path or you've done anything with it, that's cool. But if not, just let the message fly on by. But yeah, with this, again, with the dandelion, I'm really glad I'm using this because it's bringing so much up. The dandelion is medicine and it is food. And our medicine is our food. It used to be anyway, before all of this happened. But what do you see? I'm already seeing it in my neighborhood, and we barely have any green grass right now and not a dandelion in sight yet because it's a little early here for that. But what do you see? And I'm already seeing it. All these, true green chemical, green lawn, whatever. Let's fertilize your yard so it's only grass. Grass for us as humans doesn't do much. It's pretty, I guess, to look at, or it looks aesthetically pleasing. But they've literally told us to kill our food because dandelions will only grow where there is like a calcium deficiency in the soil, or there's other things. Like it's such a divine intelligence. But this to me feels original to this planet. This does not. Again, no judgment. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's a drug, because I'm actually seeing whatever cocaine comes from is natural to this planet. So it's not about, oh, it's a drug, it's bad, it's not natural. Not what I'm saying. Not what I'm saying. And same with opium. And yeah, I'm feeling original, but not original. But there's so much medicine here. So Marlene, there's something with the dandelion specifically that can really help your sacred secretions, be them pineal gland or other areas that absolutely work with that. And I know it's creosote, but from afar, and I got chills now. I got chills. From afar, it almost looks like she's holding dandelion. I mean, it's slightly more of a greenish yellow than bright yellow, but hey, it's there. I was looking at a dandelions right now that you mentioned. I just see. Oh, I love it. Yeah. So there's dandelion, detox, right. That it's such, but the inverted way that they've put this society in cult, C-U-L-T, culture. You see what they did there? They hide it in plain sight. Following mainstream culture is a cult. But when I see all my neighbors spraying, of course, I have bees. I have bees in my backyard. Well, not right now because they all flew away in the fall because we didn't get to them before it got cold enough to really insulate their little hive. So they flew the coop. But we're getting more bees. And once they're in, I just sit there and I set my intention over the poor beehive that they don't go to the poisoned dandelions and flowers and what have you. And we're the only ones, everyone else maintain. And we maintain our yard really nicely. My husband is like, they call him the lawnmower Nazi. And I know using the term Nazi is offensive, but I'm not meaning it in that way. Because he just loves to keep the yard. He wants to get it as nice and green and beautiful as he can. But at the same time, he understands those are his bees. I mean, they're all of our bees, but he's the one that's doing the 95.897% of the work out there with the beehives. that he wants, what's best. But I see even in the fall, before the leaves have even completely fallen out of the trees, we got certain neighbors that are breaking them up. And I just know the natural cycle of life that the bugs need those, and the little, roly-polies and all that, they use that leaf litter to hibernate in. And then, when it starts to thaw out and spring's coming, you want to wait till the temperatures are consistently above 50 degrees, even at night, before you really start raking up and cleaning out all this stuff, because there's bugs still hibernating in there or dormant and just about ready to come back out. And, bugs, can be pests and what have you, but, they're part of the ecosystem. They're needed for something, but I would say I'm off on a tangent, but yes, Marlene, intuitively, your body knows what it needs, be it food or plants or whatever, for your sacred secretions. And I would say you're on point with the question you asked me. Yes, very good. And you can eat every single part of the dandelion. And there's not a lot of plants or herbs. I mean, a lot of herbs maybe, but plants, a lot of plants, you can't do that. Like either the root is really toxic or the berries on it are really toxic, but the leaf is good for you, or whatever. But dandelion may not taste so good. Like the stem part and the little milky part that comes out is very bitter. I haven't tasted any just like lately, but even as a kid, like I'd make all sorts of like daisy chains and dandelion chains, and always messing with things in the yard, and, experimenting with, this and that. And just intuitively, like I would always lick the pollen off the dandelion as a kid, and no one told me I could eat a dandelion, or but I eat the like flower parts of it. But you can eat all parts of it. It's all healthy and good for you for different things. Medicinal and aids liver function. Yeah, it's a great liver detox. And if you want to detox anything, yes, absolutely, the colon, the whole system. But the liver is a big one as well, because that is our human, muscle or organ of detoxification. So sometimes it's good to detox the detoxifier, So yeah, but let's just see anything else Marlene needs to know. I know I went off on a few tangents, but I think they're all related and relevant. So 5 of fire. Yeah. And you're going to get, this is the thing. You're going to get, if you Google these things, you're going to get one that says, yes, absolutely. And another that's like, no, I'm not going to do anything for you. You're going to get warring intel, basically. You're going to get one person saying one thing and one person saying the exact opposite, and they're both professionals in the field, So it's really about you tuning into your innate DNA wisdom of plants from, past lives, or, that's just hidden in that, subconscious mind or wherever. But you do know. I saw a random video on dandelions about a year ago. The girl in the video was very knowledgeable. I can't remember exactly what she said though. Oh, I would love to know. Yeah, dandelions are, they play a really big role in a lot of child's hearts, especially, our generations and older, because we were really connected to nature in a way that kids today just aren't. My kids, I make them go out there. Sometimes they don't want to, but they spend a great amount of time outside, especially in the summertime. So my kids are kind of, you're gonna be a nature baby whether you want to be or not. And I just thrived. I thrived outside, even in the summer. Yes, I did get a sunburn here and there really badly. But for the most part, when it was my decision to be outside, because my major sunburns I got were when my dad was punishing me by picking weeds from noon to 4 p.m. one day with no sunscreen or umbrella or anything, just out in the blazing sun in his driveway. That was his punishment. And he knew I'd come out with a sunburn. He didn't care. He did not care. But when I was at home where my mom lived and just doing my own thing, I'd be riding my bike in the we had these woods at I would say they were probably about less than 10 acres of woods. And if you live in a city and don't really know what an acre is, you can kind of look it up to see how big. But about probably 10 acres of woods or so. And there were all these trails that went through, and I'd ride my bike, and I had all these little stories, and there was this little brook that kind of ran through there, and just so many fun little places. I'd visit my bug friends and my animal friends, and I just lived in my own natural fantasy world as a kid. So dandelions play a huge role, and wild roses and marigolds. Like these are the flowers of my childhood. Yeah, so funny. I was just looking up dandelions because I couldn't remember if the fluffy ones you blow on Make-A-Wish were also called dandelions, and they are. Yeah, I thought that was I was misremembering. Yeah, yeah, those are the seeds. Yeah, they disperse all the seeds out to make more dandelions. Ooh, we're balancing. What else does Marlene need to know? He of water. So this is the Page of Cups. So this is about you gaining wisdom and knowledge in very surprising ways. Sometimes just connecting, going outside and connecting with a dandelion, or, you know, into your own internal system and connecting with those sacred secretions of your own, you can gain that intelligence that you need to know what to do or what not to do, or what could really enhance it. Just sitting with it, and you're gonna maybe even be experimenting. Chamomile is another thing that you could utilize that would really benefit as well. I'll read all the ones we have. So, of course, cannabis. And you had already said you didn't really resonate so much with that. Dandelion, of course, with the Fool. And this is a very childlike energy of just, you know, experimenting, being curious, and not really caring about the outcome or having a big, you know, thing about what's the outcome here. It doesn't matter. And then the Mother of Earth, creosote bush, and black cohosh. So those are the ones that came through as far as, you know, those sacred secretions and your pineal and all that. So yeah, I lived in my weeping willow tree way up there. So much craziness happened. One time I fell all the way from the top of that tree, hit pretty much every branch on the way down, landed with a thud, didn't have a bruise, a scratch, not even got the wind knocked out of me. It's like they almost cradled me and tossed me to each one and fell to the floor with a thud, but I was fine. Probably couldn't do that these days and come out unscathed. And then another time, lightning struck where I was standing, but the tree had sucked me back away out of the path. And later, and we're talking much later, that happened when I was about 14, 15. Much later, we're talking last, probably November, so I was 41. I was looking up spiritual properties and meanings of the weeping willow tree and found out that they are guardians, or, you know, something with lightning, connection with lightning. It blew my mind. But that was one huge near-death experience of almost being sizzled by lightning. And I mean, where I stood, this tree sucked me back. So trees, I can tell you for a mother freaking fact, have innate intelligence and wisdom and a spirit. Absolutely they do. And I have seen it on display multiple times in lots of little flowers and trees and plants as a kid and even as an adult. Let's see. Looks outside, it was blizzarding. Oh, you growing up riding your bike. Yeah. Back then was different. Even the whole vibe of the place, this earth, was just different. And I know, yes, we were kids. We didn't have all the adulting problems. But still, there's been a shift. I can feel it. I think you can feel it. So many of us can feel it. Looks outside. Off topic. The blizzard, still blizzarding. I'll keep you posted if the kids have another snow day. Yeah. Throwing it out there while it's on my mind. Yeah. Thank you for letting me know. But yeah, whether you're there or not, I'll definitely show up at least for an hour, hour and a half tomorrow to just get a little bit of editing in my writing for tomorrow before my mom gets here. So yeah. All right, you guys, I think that's going to do it. Let me just double check I didn't miss anybody in the donation. Nope, we're good. All right, well, I really do have to go. I have to be at the school in about 15 minutes. So that'll give me enough time to make a quick sandwich and jet out the door. Well, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And again, I'm not going to be live on Friday. So I will see you guys again next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, our new scheduled time for Woo Woo Wednesday until about mid-June. Greenery is the way. Well, thank you for joining us, Sam. Love and power for you and yours. You as well. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the rest of you as well for hanging out with us. Yes, have a great week. We're midway through already. So have a blessed rest of your week. I will see you next time. Thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live. All right, you guys, much love.